Just 1 minute. I'm setting up, getting my pad. Bear with me, guys, brothers and sisters. There we go. We are ready. If anybody wants to have a chat with me, I'm going to get onto the chat panel now. I'll load up the watch page. I'm going to try Matthew in Sheffield after I've said what I want to say. Put you here. Don't fall. It's excellent. Oh, there we go. We're going into the chat room, see what we've got. Shush, shush, shush. Nonna, good evening, sister. How are we doing? How are we doing? Nice to see you nice. Whoever wants to join, have anything to say, you can come on like I have with the camera off. You can come on with the camera on. It's entirely up to you. Principles. There are principles in life, and I'd like to discuss principles that I have knowledge of these principles, and I did when I was younger, and I noticed them when I was younger. You notice everything when you're a nipper, and you wonder why things are the way that they are, and you know, life's not fair. Let's say when you summarize it as a nipper, don't you? Your principles, and you work out what's what. Bullies, we encounter bullies. They try and take us and push us around at an early age. You know, the schoolyard. It's the first place we encounter this, I'd say. It's not normally at home, it's not normally from your family. It's an aggression, it's a force, it's a military insurgent, you know. To a child, it's could involve weapons. This day and age, I dread to think what goes off. Honestly, I really do dread to think what is going off. But principles, yeah, you have your principles. You stand by them. Bullies have a principle, not to pay for anything. Try and push you around. And that word, bully, you know, there's a team at hand at the minute that are bullying. You know, wars are run by bullies. You'd argue. To be fair, you know, they're not very nice, are they? It says in the grand scheme of things, "Thou shalt not kill," but used by bullies. And the bull, don't forget the what papal bull, yeah, the leaden buller, bullets, bulletin board, bull's eyes. You know, it's all there. It's quite aggressive, isn't it? This ang age. So principles, we have these principles, and your childhood, yeah, that's where they're instilled. And then after that, by the time you come to leave the indoctrination camp and you get to the age of 18, you're legally responsible and you're out. That's it. You've been made, you know, you've been formed, your principles, your morals, your ethics are all there. But I was just touching base on the Hermetic principles. You've looked at the passages in the books and you know, the Gospels and things that are around, and you're aware of is it Enki, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the bird-like creature depicted in Egyptian hieroglyphics, and texts and renditions as a bird-headed man. Let me get to the page where I've got this from the Kybalion, Kybalion. So yeah, I'm going to go through that. So yes, 2310, all is good. Live trying again. Hello, how you get invite to the hangout? I'll explain. You email me, and once I've finished what I'm saying, then I'll let you on, invite you onto the panel. It's via email. Yes, Nonna, I am well. All is well, thank you. Un Unfettered mind. Good evening, everybody. Unfettered mind. I do like that. Evening. Jonesy. Jesus is in the house. Jamie. Okay. Good evening, all. So, hermetic principles. Yes. Who is it? Thoth, the green emerald tablets. Yes, and the depiction in the Egyptian history, civilization. And then Greek had Hermes. He was called Hermes Trismegistus, three times blessed man. Principles. These are laws. We study the laws, and we find that in life there are laws as well. We might have called this Murphy's law. We might have called this Sod's law. These laws are in effect. And even if man, is ignorant to these laws, even if you don't know they're there, they still work on you. They still interact with you, and you are susceptible to them. So these aren't the hands of the creator, but these are intelligent, universal, non-movable laws that are transfixed in our reality in this present construct. And there are seven of them. Um, we will have called them things like Murphy's Law, Sod's Law, things like that before. We'll have called them laws. These are the things that this isn't luck and coincidence. These are words we've given and made up because we don't have the knowledge, and the understanding of that to sort it out, to intelligently, gather it and interpret what the fuck is going on. So, it's we should know and internalize these principles, yes, of life and of law and of love and of caring, and you know, uh, use them. Knowledge alone is useless, brothers and sisters. Wisdom is applied knowledge, yeah, knowledge and wisdom together. So wisdom is applied knowledge, and mastery can only be attained by continuous application of these said principles and laws I've mentioned, that seven of, amongst of. They might be called different names in different cultures and things, but they've lasted till this long, and it's 2018, and I'm talking about a bird-headed man called Thoth from the Egyptian times and Greek times. So, you might argue that X, Y, and Z, but why are we talking and why are they still here? And, you know, uh, these principles, if you're aware of them, you want to master them, can be attained by continuous application of the principles. Yeah, and then you can look to control your state of vibration, your resonance, by mastering your state. Your life will change. You will see incomprehensible, cognizable changes of mass, straight away, almost instantaneously. Um, and how you feel, losing the fear, that would be, you see. So you'd lose the fear, so instantaneously your life, your vibration would start to change. It does start to change. So this is it. These principles, there's a governance around most things. There are things there, then there is something to guide it. There is an intelligence there. So let's crack on, and yeah, I want to get through this, and I might end up ringing Matthew in Sheffield, see if he's about. He's always got something good to say, and then I'll invite you guys on, the ones that remain after I finish this cast. All right. So this is from the Kybalion. It's Kybalion, by the three initiates, and it's about the seven hermetic principles by Thoth, or Hermes. Hermes Trismegistus, blah blah blah. Yes, gematria, pimatria, X, Y, Z. You've got it. The first principle out of the seven is the principle of mentalism. That all is mind. The universe is mental. Sorry, the universe is mental. A mind, energy. It contains power. It contains matter. And in the Gospels and the Scriptures and so forth, and all of the lineage of man. In the great words of Nikola Tesla, Everything is vibration. Everything is a vibration. Word, there was the word, the word in the beginning, and there was the word, and there was light, and there was creation, and there was creation. Some believe it was sung into existence. Some cultures believe that it was sung. It might be the Aborigines, I believe, if I was talking to Santos, if that's right, about being sung into existence and so forth. So it's the universe, yeah. It's mental. It's a state of mind. We manifest what we inwardly, what we outwardly attract, what we inwardly manifest, we outwardly attract. So if you're manifesting feelings of despair, anxiety, dread, sorrow, hard done by, feeling fed up, depression every day, then you're going to manifest your own world of pain. If you get up and your life is rubbish, like mine has been many years, out of these 41 anons so far past, and you get up and you tell yourself, yeah, you've got a bad deal, these are the cards, you're not going to win the round, you're not going to win this game, but you're going to get through it, and then you're going to have to build up, and that's it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So it's a state of mind, the concept that we have of not being able to change anything. I'd argue to some extent Stockholm syndrome, go and have a look at that. Pavlov conditioning. But these indigos, these light workers, these rainbows, these crystals, this is a generation. My generation was a generation that made intelligent drum and bass. You try DJing that when you just started to get your hands on a pair of 1210s in like the mid 90s, 94, 95, 96. LTJ Buckham and NMC Conrad, The Promised Land, intelligent drum and bass. We took the capacitors, the microprocessors, the wave sync MIDI modulators, the Korg synthesizers, and what was around at the time. And Chinese produced this little device called the 808 drum machine, and samplers and synthesizers were off, and man was starting making his own beats, and we had the influence of the black influence on the underground dance rave scene, which led to Groove Rider and Fabio, I do believe, were the pioneers of the jungle breakbeat scene, turning out such, genres from the Anglo landmass. Yeah, he should be proud of this chisel. We should be proud. Should stand up tall for what we did. Creativity, creation, music. This is why it's suppressed. We're not allowed to create with our mind. Our mind is mined for its resources only, for your sweat equity, for the gold. Your mind is mine. So these creative geniuses of the mixed race, non-white lineages having influence on the underground dance music scene, unlicensed, unregulated, unsigned, just pure blood. Man's going around in whatever they wanted to do, creating intelligent drum and bass, jungle. Ronnie Size, LTJ Buckham represent, and saw that waveform at Adam F. Brown paper bag, circles. Anybody that's got half of a rhythmatic bone in the body will have known about these broken beats. Prodigy, they weren't jungle or anything, but another English, coming up out of nowhere, and Poison and Remedies. There's lots here. The creativity, and it got quashed, didn't it? Repetitive beats, criminal justice, freedom, man, fields, music, no crimes here. Ah, but we're not profiting from it. Who's sanctioned this? Nobody's sanctioned it, John. They just did it. What? They just did it. Don't they know we run this place? This is our manor. They think it's their manor. Get some papers drafted. So we try to use our the universe and immerse ourselves, and we see there are proclamations on paper that are bounding, binding, stopping you, bonded in a way. So yeah, you would like to create, you would like to be free, a free spirit. Well, are you a free spirit? Do you create? Are you allowed to create? Do you have parameters? You know what your parameters and borders are. Whatever you see, you know. Whatever you hear, you interpret. It's how you react and deal with it. Be the change that you want to see coming mind over matter. Mind over matter in itself is the closing bit for that. Number two, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. Yes, as below, as above. The balance of and axioms that need to exist. There has to be, you know, it's a bit like the law of attraction in a way. Power of intent, the principle, you know, of mentalism. All the universe is mental. Those laws are there. There's examples of what we use and how they exist. But yeah, the principle of correspondence, so understanding much, just because we have so much information, there's so much data and so much to handle, we can universally apply it and have universal applications, and we can have laws and governance guidelines and stuff. So correspondence, it's a broad term there, enables man to reason intelligently is how I would encapsulate that and summarize it. It's not all my words and work, this is from videos and just rambles on tube and around and about. Number three, the principle of vibration. You know about that. Dances in the light. The principle of vibration. All things in the universe are in motion. You know, we're all made of atoms. Adama, Adam, atom. All atoms, they're vibrating when you look at them close. Atomic, subatomic levels, particles, electrons, neutrons. You know, the principle of vibration. Nothing is ever truly still, except maybe your mind. If you can, you know, pause your mind. It's got some mastery there. Tesla, you know, his works and what's come out. Hutchinson, Eric Dollard. All right, Einstein, Newton, so be it. But these are just the faces to provide the information of which, you know, we're supposed to suck up. There's energy and force. The resulting vibrations, you know, your body has a vibration. You have a Hertzian frequency. The planet, the plane has a vibration. Food, everything, colours, you know, there's formulas, mental vibrations. You can master your mind, you know. It's possible. It's a very big area, though. Summarised it in a few sentences. Number four, the principle of polarity. Dual, D-U-A-L, dual, D-U-E-L. You see, the phonics, the etymology, dual. We have a dual principle here. Opposites attract, duality. We have two poles generally, a north and a south, yes. Negative and a positive, day and the night. Pairs of opposites, the essence, the yin and the yang. Everything is and everything isn't at the same time. Hot and cold are opposite, but the same thing. And measuring heat, the presence of heat or the lack of heat. So they're a heat indicator. Light and dark, indicating how much light is here or how little dark is here. The same thing. Big and small, it's a size comparison. Each measuring size, amount of size, and massiveness or tiny size. Micro subatomic particles, it's still the same. Principle of polarity. So there is, you know, we say two of everything, 2 by 2, man and woman, X and Y, light and dark, off and on. But to some extent, now we see, because of recent works, recent technological advancements, consciousness shifts are coming together in lots of work, we find that there are more than two, really. We would argue now that we would find that we have the thought potentiality consciousness and the transmorphogenic fields, and the vortex, toroidal. Then you've got quantum with photon double slit experiment, both being a wave and a pulse at the same time, isn't everywhere. So there is omnipresent. The viewer has the effect to change something, because if something happens and it's viewed, it knows it's viewed on a subatomic level. Search YouTube double slit experiment Dr. Quantum. Then after you've watched that, come back and give me some comments on what your summarization of our reality and the principle of polarity being dual is, because that's not even coming into play with the multi-dimensional options that we have now as well. Mandela effect and CERN, multi-dimensional, multi-universes. So in this one, there is a polarity, a duality in this particular multi-universe of our timeline, and you know, interesting, isn't it? Imagine if we actually took our heads down and did this for real, seriously. The principle of rhythm, number 5, the rhythm of the night, Indi Afterdark. The swing of the pendulum to and from, the click of the metronome inside the tune, the rhythm of the intelligent drum and bass of the mid-90s, the funky bass lines, the swing of the pendulum, yeah, high and low tides, the sea as a rhythm, yes, as an action and a reaction, petrol engine, combustion, chemicals, the affairs of the universe and the laws. Yes, we're not going to argue how the sea and tide is controlled. We have now, thanks to the work of many on FPV's channel, options of creators, giants, machines. We have the option of moon, and yes, these are the the principles of rhythms that we have, and how these rhythms are here and what governs them. If you notice them, you know, if you can use them to your advantage. So the guy that I watched on YouTube that was given this reference was about saying that if you was trying to get out to sea and you went out to sea every day when the tide was coming in, then it would be a lot more energy expelled and time to get out to the sea and free of the tide. If you went out when the tide was coming in, if you go out when the tide is in fact going out, you will expel a lot less energy and get out to sea quicker, faster, and use less energy. So you've used the rhythm of nature to your advantage instead of working against the rhythm of nature, which is what we would argue most of this legal construct and etymology and D-based language and the passing over of IOUs as actual money with intrinsic value is all against going against nature. The signature is from a witch's sigil, you know, a witch's signature. So I won't get into that. I'll go into that later on. But it's against nature. You know, these things are not against. Not a person is not a natural, complex soul, self-governing. It's a foreign body in the natural realm. It serves only one purpose, I'm afraid, and that would be an illegal realm. The principle of cause and effect. Now, this is a good one because man doesn't always see the result of this until several hours. Well, not hours, probably. Yeah, it could be hours. It's karmic retribution, aka, yes, it's sometimes days, weeks, months, but it's not very long. It comes for you. Karma remembers, you know. Every cause has its effect, and every effect indeed has its cause. Everything happens according to law. When we say law, we don't mean statutory Westminster Code, do we? Mm-hmm. We mean the divine laws. These are divine laws that exist without, you know, that's what I'm saying, man's consent. You are just by being in this universe, multiverse, solar system realm, holographic matrix, simulation, experiencing with you, using your free will as it is in this matrix of consciousness, then it happens according to these laws. And those of you that are there with the Big Bang, then the Big Bang doesn't make laws like this that are here. It would be random, localized types of things going off. But I'm not going to go. I'm summarising, but I'm trying to go into articulate areas enough to get your cogs thinking and turning about how you exist, see what you think, how you think, why you think it, when you think it, what words you use to describe how you're thinking and how you're feeling, how you put down in this realm whom you think you are, what you think you can, achieve, and what you think you are due. And we're just having a chat, but this is key. This is old school stuff that basically is set in stone in the hands of time. It's like the Space Core Directive for those Star Trek fans out there. You never mess with the Space Core Directive because it's just there. It's what it is. It's the laws of the universe. So when man rips another man off and knowingly does that, the universe sees that you've knowingly premeditated ripped another man off. And so what the universe does is, even though that guy, that lady, who person, brother, sister, man, entity, soul doesn't know you've ripped them off and you've overquoted and you've taken loads of stuff for yourself, you've made a hefty profit, somebody that you consider, you call a friend, even though if it's a total stranger, it's still the same, but it's even more heinous, and the crime is even more severe in the scheme of things when it's a loved one, a friend, an elderly pensioner taking advantage, integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody is watching, because there is always something watching. And even though you think you might have gotten away with it, it comes back to bite you in the ass. But the problem is, because it is an instant, it isn't an instantaneous, like it, say, like every time you did it, every time you did a wrong by somebody and you broke common law and these divine laws, say every time you did that your pants fell down, your trousers and your pants fell down, and you was exposed, nakedly, wherever you was at that right time, your whole bottom half of your clothes just dropped down. Yeah, you'd be like, shit. Sorry for swearing, but you'd be quite embarrassed about that, and you'd be like, ah. And everybody would know that's a signal for you've just done a wrong. You've just been showing up the naked truth. There you go, the naked truth, been showing up. Or every time you wronged somebody, your hands went bright red, caught red-handed. You know what I mean? So everybody knew you got red hands. You've just done somebody a wrong. There you go. That's a better one. Just trying to think of an embarrassing thing, not so much that it has to involve that area of sorts to be, embarrassing. That's just what came to mind. But my programming, sorry, red-handed. Yeah, every time you broke common law or did somebody a harm, you got your hands enlarged and they went red, like a clown effect. You'd soon stop doing it, wouldn't you? And you'd make that connection. Oh yeah, every time I do something like that that's a bit tricky and naughty and a bit wrong, that I know I shouldn't be doing it, my hands keep going red and big. Everyone keeps laughing at me, and I've got no friends, and nobody trusts me, and so you'd learn and you'd see and you would correct, and therefore all would be good, would it not? There would be no need for any of this, but because it is an instant, then we have this, and we have guys like men, brothers, sisters, people, souls trying to play the game of Final Destination, where they know, like me, about these and they see the numbers, and you can, to some extent, try to dodge it. Believe me, when I was younger, I played games with this machine, and yeah, I thought, I'm the clever one. I know about this. And then when I saw Final Destination, I was like, I know about these laws, but not with death, but with like doing good and bad. And I've been testing stuff, and I've been seeing how far I can. Don't get me wrong, I just play my own, as you have, your own private experience in the realm of self-governing. You get little, yeah, get little rewards when you do good. I found. I'm like, oh, look at that. Well, if you're honest, honesty is the best policy. Yes, it is. But we see everywhere in this realm, when you're honest, you get left behind and you don't get the big house and the posh car and the Mercedes and the driveway and the bank accounts and the gold, big, you know, whatever, gold chain and the nice massive diamond engagement ring and the estate and whatnot. And here, yes, going to paying for the, you know, everybody should have that luxury and right, but we don't. So anyway, yes, cause and effect, how much it would just sort man out if it would be instantaneous. He did say, like, if everybody did do a wrong, if you got stung by a bee or something, then yeah, you know, you'd think twice about it. So I tried to put it into my own words. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law, not recognized or recognized. Coincidence or chance? Oh, that's just a coincidence. Bad luck, luck, coincidence, and chance. Do they really exist? Or are they something else? And we've given it a different name. Don't forget, there are many, many various planes. That's right, planes of causation. But nothing can escape the law. Bosh. You know, chance and coincidence. That's what I implore you to think about there. Nothing can escape these laws. You may think, you know, you see guys that do stuff and man that do stuff that you think, why aren't they getting punished? Why are they prospering? Oh, don't worry, they'll get their time. You know, once you've sold your soul, you've done certain things. There is no going back. There is no redemption. Once you've done something that's not selling your soul and you've done some wrongs and you can repent, you can say sorry, you can make up for it, you can actually, you know, there's a chance of certain things. So why would you want to be moved like a pawn in the game of life? Eh? Cause and effect, your ignorance, your silence, your vexation, your anger makes it that life tells you what to do instead of you, the major, the settlor, the creditor, that as king, you know, in this game, in these pawns here, and you're being moved around and you're being told what to do, and you're having others dictate you by corporate international policy. You are a citizen, and all citizens are now subject to, you know, in Hungary, what's happened is they've recently redone the money. They use foreign over there. A mortgage before this political move that has recently been done with the financial industry. Bearing in mind they don't have a central bank, but they do have a deal with Washington over in Hungary. And the average mortgage, or families that I know mortgages, were £87 comparative, the foreign conversion per month. After this recent little hike that they've done financially, the corporations that move us around like pawns, yes, these mortgages have gone from a rough £87 on four families that I know personally a month to now £398 a month. So that's nearly over a 400% hike on man's mortgage. And some of these poor mother, you know, they're 17 years in, 10 years in, 12 years in, too much in, yes, too much in to throw it away, and too much in to be able to cope with it because the outlay. So they're having to go out of their homelands, okay, by corporate policy, like the pawns that they are, and go and get employment somewhere else because the average monthly, we'll use the word loosely here, income for Magyar and Hungarians, our brothers and sisters of Europe, the Huns, as I like to call them, you know, is about £400 a month. So if your mortgage is £400, you're on your own, and you've got to pay 400. You've earned £400, and you're paying that for that. And there's no gas, no electric, no council tax, no fuel, no nothing for nothing. So this is what I'm saying. There are things out there, and there are laws out there. The principles of cause and effect, and our ignorance is how this system, this cabal, this cartel, these L-ites, yes, the L God, El, and ites. They're the ites of God. Well, they're not, but they claim to be through their symbols and, you know, numbers and gematria, not pimatria, but yeah, symbology and arches, so forth and so on, bonds, curse words, curses, curse words, bonded, you know, cursor on the screen. Where's your cursor at, guys? Why is it called a cursor? You know, so yeah, you can move in the game of life and be masters when you use these rules of cause and effect. You could argue I do it quite a lot. I try to. Number 7, the principle of gender. And this is what's going to link me on to something that's quite dark. I'm going to be general about it because I haven't restricted this video. I've said not to age restrict it, so I won't be going off full barrel. Gender is not everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. And gender manifests on all planes and in everything. And it's forever at work. It's mental and it's both physical, you know. Physical, mental or emotional creation uses this. Every female contains the male principle, but the male doesn't contain the female. Know and internalize these 7 principles and try to understand them. You see, I said that knowledge alone is useless, wisdom is applied. Knowledge, so wisdom is applied knowledge. Mastery can only be attained by continuous application of the said principles, and only then can you control your state of vibration and mind harmonics, inwardly projecting, outwardly attracting. By mastering your state changes, you know, in other world can, you know, it's not weakness. Kindness is not weakness, you know. Kindness, wearing your heart on your sleeve is okay, but you've got to be guarded a bit. You've got to not let your guard down. So much like I've said about, got 2 threads here to go with now. The zodiacs, and there is a 13th zodiac. Is there? Somebody was saying, they were saying talk of possible 13th zodiac, but there's 12 zodiac signs, and then there's one to govern them all, like to encompass them, one ring to encompass them. Gematria, spell sun, it comes up to 6, 6 and 1. And 6 disciples either side of the 1 in the middle to govern them all. That makes 13. 9 and 13 are very important numbers. Gender is what I want to talk to you about with the other link then. Why did I want to talk to you about gender? About the testamentary. When I was doing the work on the testamentary trusts of the Catholic Church, then we'll call it, you know, pontiffs and friars and so forth that have gone off in the history. When I was doing that work, I kept going to type. Sheffield's live. Wow, sorry, I kept going to type testicles instead of testamentary. And what's happening is my cognitive dissonance and dyslexia was taking the word testamentary and just putting the word testicles there. And even if you go back on some of the videos, instead of the word testamentary, I started saying testicular or and I stopped myself. So gender, we're in a kind of a male environment here, I would argue, with the governance of things, the United Nations, the lords, the ministers, the manners, the preposterous. Yes, you know, man is waging war everywhere. All right, yeah, we've got Theresa May, who's a female as a prime minister. Okay, she's got that title, and we've got a queen there as the queen. You know, still Elizabeth is there. Okay, yes, well, that's what queen is. You can only have a woman as a queen. To be fair, you know, we have no king. So it's not, I can't be, you know, so there's mostly men, 95%. Yeah, the world is run by a man. It's a male emotion, testosterone, ruling, square logic, no curvy, nice, you know, female influence, mother, anywhere. And testamentary, testicles. Okay, that was what I was saying. So I'll keep it clean, but what I've got on this other page is some things about Peter and Paul, Jupiter, no, it's not yet, 9/11, Tree of Life, Kabala, stocks, bonds, here we go, this is the one, so hearing, what have we got at the top? I'll read it you all, hearing, case, name, capitals, Capricorn, yes, sentence, being booked in, yes, characters, these are all things to do with books, aren't they? Yes, capital name, hearing, case, testamentary, Capricorn, sentence, yes, booked in, spine is in a book, we have a spine, anagram of spine, another same letters rearranged is pines, pineal gland, so we have a spine, we have a pine, and the other way of putting that word would be penis, I'm afraid. There you go, there's a testicular reference, so penis is also being able to be made up as spine and pines is from those 5 words of P-E-N-I-N-S. So, yes, I'm keeping this clean and upbeat. So I'm trying to be professional. So there we have the things about a book there. And leading from book using spine, tedious link, we went to pines. And after pines and the pineal gland, we went to penis. And from penis, we're going to go to testicular, testify. And then what we're going to do then is say to you that we have I've got notes somewhere about testy is below and testa is above. So testamentary, when you're in and you're giving a testifying and you're testamentary, that would be above. And your testy, as they are quite low, swing low, sweet chariot, yes, they are low, and testy means low. What else we're going to go on with here then? Penal codes. What else is there? Dick. Dick comes into play, I'm afraid. Not Richard, but Dick comes in the form of dictionaries. Okay, yeah, there he is again. We have the phallic intervention with the obelisks that are in the yards of Washington, London, and Italy. The Vatican, not Italy, sorry, the Vatican. These are all separate nations, don't forget. Penal T's, penal colonies, penal codes, yes, penal, pubic, public, English and Germanic, diction, it's all addiction, basically, dictions, a dictionary, addiction, addict, diction, yeah, aries, nation, no, we can't get nation in there, sorry, etymology, it's diction, so hiding the female from us, using the dictionaries and etymologies, penalties and these testes and testers and everything like that. I, for one, as an indigo, I just, this Sarah Abraham, Sir Abraham, Celebrium, Sarah Abraham, Serial Bran, I wrote down from Elohim, Stovilla, Elohim Ra, Bara, Baratory, Bara, B-A-R, Arab, A-R-A-B, abracadabra, same things, magic, spells, tricks, words, moving, collecting together, spells, very, very interesting, heart, earth, ether, that's the same one there, very, very interesting, so, I need to show you some stuff, but I haven't got the camera on. That's not going on. We're just having a chat like this. So, remember in the olden days, 1800s, 1700s. Let me just. Oh wow! Thank you, angels, for lighting that coffin nail. When you was naughty, when you'd been not naughty, but when you'd done a civil wrong, or maybe a common law wrong, but mainly civil, you'd be put in the stocks, you'd be put in the stocks for various things and punishment, some kind of ridicule, really, not so much a crime, ridicule on a communal level. This is how intelligent it was and what we used to do, to each other, to fellow man, and you'd be put in the stocks, wouldn't you, in the middle of the square, and everyone would come and laugh at you, poke fun, the whole family would be shamed. But anyway, what were they called? They were wooden, 2 hands and a head, stocks, locked up, bosh, yeah. Then we've got, what else do we got? Bonds. Well, bonds, these are like handcuffs. These are 2 circles with a squiggly line to join them. Bit of chain, and they went round your wrists, and they were called bonds. You were bonded with them. So we got stocks and bonds. in the old historical custodial, paraphernalia, judicial, custodial, military, police, and paraphernalia there. So why would we have in finance stocks and bonds? We were talked about mortgages and these words and certain things. Why would an intelligent civilization use stocks and bonds as financial words and instruments? These are homophones. 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 Words or wards. WARDS. Backwards, Born under contractions was you. Homophones and contractions. Contract. You were born under contractions. Yes, an award of the state. So you was, if you was there and you was there willingly, not by force in the military compound, you was a co-ward N, a co-warden. Yeah, but co-ward is coward, coward. So you're a coward in a military institute as a product being delivered. Oh, what? Unclaimed afterbirth. Just insane, absolutely insane. But search up homophones, part of your phonic and etymology end of key competence to back up, that we're not crazy, magic roundabout characters talking about things that can't be put down in black and white for you to cognize, realize, you're in the wrong shipping lanes. Here comes the shipping forecast. SS Sovereign is broadcasting loud and clear, I do hope. These are things you need to think about. These are things you need to get into the basic compound of what's happening in the reality that you're in here. I'm going to read some comments, then I'm going to get old Sheffield Matt on, and we're going to continue on and get ready for some blab. Blue Spanners, thank you, family, for looking after that. Real good. The gematria bloke is pretty good. Yes, Jonesy, pubs open 24 hours, 7 days a week. So, Stockholm Syndrome, brilliant at explaining everything that is wrong with the world. Yeah, indeed. Pavlov, conditioning, Pavlov effect, indoctrination from being born, from system honour, birth, but we know what you mean. People just ain't got time now to create dance music. Yes, they just ain't got time. I do it all the time. I'm always creating. It's just that I can't put it down, record it, compose it, remix it, sample it, loop it, put these things on like I used to do when I didn't give a, and I was just immersing myself trying to be David Guetta, and the fun we can have, the engineering. Look at in the olden days, and eons ago, they moved megalithic blocks with pine cones, did they not? Look at ancient Sumeria. There's the pine cone again in his hand, little magnetic watch on. You know what I mean? And they were moving stuff. They weren't slaving away, chained up. They were doing shit. They were moving. They were traveling. They were showing everybody. It was sharing. They were like, "Hey, we're massive and we can do this. Want to have a look?" It wasn't secret. And folk music, real music. You know what I mean? How do gumshoe? Yes, brother. I do like that. Bonjour, my brother. I of. We're having a random hangout. You can jump on. Anybody's welcome to jump on. We've got a Sheffield man incoming. Once I read these comments. Wow, we are busy. Visions of the naked truth hitting politicians, policy informers, trousers at their ankles. Yes, Paddy Pants Down. That's what it was. Remember that? Anybody? Everybody? Hey, Paddy Pants Down. See, subconscious things in you. It's just programmed. You see how simple it is to be programmed. You only have to see something repeated a small amount of times, and it's in. So if we repeat the same things to you a small amount of times, and you watch these videos a small amount of times, you have reprogrammed yourself. Well done. Welcome to the real world. Stepping out of the matrix. Yeah. Shut up, Art. We're so not professional. My word is my bond. My bond. Yes, I'm not sure about that saying anymore. I'm not sure I want to be giving out bonds. Bondage and words and swords. You get this? Yes, this is what I mean. Very, very strange. It's not very funny. Contract is on. See what I mean? This is not by accident. It's all there. It is all there for the reading. All I do is just put notes down, scribble it all together, get enough to hold about an hour video and say, right, we've got all this stuff here. I know it doesn't seem like it's connected and you're going to think I'm a crazy loon, but turns out that a car, a baby are the same thing in law. What? Yes. What do you mean? No, they're not. A car is far not to, nothing like a baby. Baby is delicate and organic and is made by man. And a car is a machine that is made of non-organic, doesn't have a soul. It is made by man, but it comes out of a factory as opposed to the birthing canal of the lady's fallopian tube. Yes, I do recognise that, but in law, property is property. Rights are our rights. Souls? Well, we don't recognise them. A soul? What's a soul? To pretend they don't have them. They're just autonomous objects of which we can utilise their endless heartbeats for X amount of years, and basically they'll work and ask for permission, everything of which the Creator's given them. They'll never cotton on. We'll give them smartphones and we'll let them think they can sing and be millionaires, and we'll give them a touch of the ascot and the high life, and we'll give them all these modern day, things, and we'll start them arguing about the world being flat and round, and we'll give them aliens and UFOs and a touch of cancer, and put plastic and crap in the sea in their food, and blow up a few nuclear stations, a few organic, homegrown false flags. We'll pile drive a few more countries with bombing campaigns, and there'll be that much going off. Let's throw Brexit into the mix. Kim Jong what, and we'll have Putin going off somewhat there, and we'll flood Europe with migrants and the economic instability. Man won't know which way to bloody turn, let me tell you. Well, we did, we came, we turned, we saw, we watched, we chalked up, we marked, we're having a chat about it, we're naming and shaming. You know what I mean? And thank you all. Thank each and every one of you, beautiful souls, for, thought we was crazy. We did. We thought we was crazy. And it turns out the world's crazy. You go and tell a quack that. Ugh, yeah, look what happens. I went and told someone about 5G, what they believed to be true, and it didn't end well. You have to be careful exactly as you say things, what you say, and how you say them. Some might say we live in a topsy-turvy world. So, I read all the comments. I'm going to ring Sheffield and get a statue on the man, Matthew, and we're going to see what he's got to say. Just calling him now. Bear with. Yourself, anything you want to bring to the realm?
Well, at the moment, I'd like a cup of tea.
You'd like a cup of tea?
The brewing. But now, I don't know, there's many things. I can just never think on. What did I see the other day? Oh yeah, these benevolent rich folks, the overseers. He's a motivational speaker, this guy, as well. He's a billionaire. I forget his name. He's a billionaire, apparently. He's the richest man in the world. He's got a big castle anyway. And he was bragging how when the shit goes down, as they say, when the shit goes down, you better be ready. Well, he was bragging that when shit goes down, he's ready and he's got...
Cypress Hill, Temples of Boom, 1993. When the shit goes down.
I'm not too sure, but... when the shit goes down. Well, when shit goes down, he's ready, I tell you.
I haven't censored this video. Try not to say too many profanities. A few aren't bad, but I haven't put censor on it. I just wanted to try and keep it clean. But that's
why when you're talking about adult content, you're not putting it for adults, you poacher?
No, I'm just saying we don't want to. We can talk about adult content, but just try not to F and Jeffs on this.
Oh, I can't help it sometimes. When I get a bit excited or a bit angry, it's subconscious just takes over and just says, effing.
I know it's the programming. It's really the programming is really bad. It's hard. I know it is. I deal with it too. It's hard for me too.
But anyway, Hollywood can spit it out, effing and jeffing, so as much as they want, and people just love it and watch it and go, oh yeah, well it's in a film. No, well, I'm a real person and I'm going to F and Jeff.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's just that these
anyway,
as these Google accounts get disappearing and getting any excuse that they can find to shut people down, that speaks the truth.
I'll try and turn Irish and say fecker then.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
what it is. The system. It's not me. I'm real like you are, and we have licenses and we can put them on, but I didn't. So I'm just letting you know. Sorry. Carry on. My apologies. I'll yield.
So you could do a disclaimer from this point on. If you're listening, there may be some effing and jeffing.
Actually, we could, couldn't we? Yeah, why don't you? Yeah, thank you.
From this point on, Barry McGuigan's on, and he sometimes cusses. So if you don't like cusses, I don't like that. I best tune off. Like if they're frightened of hearing an F and a Jeff. You know, I suggest you don't watch any Hollywood films or out like that, and I suggest you make your sin a brewing or just go and put feet up, like watch a bit of Emmerdale.
Yes, brother.
But anyway, this billionaire, it's a billionaire basically, just waiting for shit to hit the fan, and this is the thing, yeah. I don't understand. I thought, well, he must stockpiled a lot of ammo and a lot of things that he can trade and barter with, because he's got his castle and he's on about 30 foot up in air, 30 feet in the air, quite high, yeah. And he was bragging about all the have-nots coming to him, you know, for help and to try and beg food and such things. And he was saying that he will be laying them down with his 50 cal. And they're big bullets, them 50 cal. So he said, they'll be up here, they'll be this high, bodies will be this high.
The have-nots? The have-nots, really?
Yeah, the have-nots. Do you know what I mean? He's telling it how it is. I'm stockpiling shit because we're going to wreck this shit. They know they're going to wreck it, do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, when all the economy politics and all that, he's no longer a billionaire. So I just thought to myself, I hope you've bought enough ammo. I really hope you bought enough ammo.
Where did you see this? Where's this? Was it in a newspaper? Was it on the TV?
It was on a video thing. It were on a youth loop thing. But do you know, to be honest, there were a guy who I look up to a bit, and it was a guy from London Real, that guy who does London Real. And I looked up to him because he gave Jack Fresco airtime and time to speak and put forth his idea and that. But he was stood there with him, and he went, he weren't saying them words, but hey. He was kind of smiling and laughing. So,
the elite, the L-ites. I call them the L-ites, the elite. Yes, these ones that these ites of L.
He didn't stand here and say you can't say that. That's disgusting. That's fucked up. You know. And this guy, this billionaire, he went on to say basically that he was he's got no problem with killing his fellow man.
Yeah, that's apparent by what you've said. By the bodies will be 30 foot piled up in the air. So these.
Not just in apocalyptic times. If you went onto his property, he'd have no problem shooting you and saying that you were trespassing and you know what I mean, kind of thing. He's got no problem killing you. And he's probably good friends with Trump and other such rich people as, and also.
Oh yes, yes. You know, the rights of the private. We know all about the private and what you can claim and what can be done with the, you know, rights of title deed, you know, privacy, not being in the public, trespass of property rights, infringement, so forth. It doesn't mean you can take a man out. No, it doesn't at all. It just means that there are boundaries, and where one's rights end, you know, another's will begin. Generally, it's not a case of,
oh yeah,
in all of the books round the plane, it says thou shalt not kill, and we've all got a foreign war policy, and we quite happily drop bombs on others with, you know, public funds and so forth, because, you know, we're doing it for the freedom. We're not going in for the batteries and the lithium or anything like that. Oh no, we're doing it because they need it. You know, you know, it's terrible what's going off. Look what we've done for Iraq. Look at it. Everybody, look at Iraq. Look at it all. You know, it's just beautiful now what we've done. What we didn't manage to do, ISIS finished off. Like, we gave them a little boost, didn't we? And it's just amazing, Matt. You know, how we make excuses up for death. You know, we'll cover it in many ways. Legal ways generally do it. It's not death. It's corporate manslaughter. Yes. Corporate manslaughter is what it is. Grenfell, no murders there. Oh God, no. Nobody's murdered anybody. No negligence whatsoever. We've investigated it ourselves. Little bit of corporate manslaughter. It was the butler. You know, fuck's sake. Hello, let's fucking wake up. I'll swear for a bit. Are we having it? We're having it, man. We're having it, brother.
People won't wake up because, well, they can't wake up. They can't. They feel helpless and they can't, you know. They don't know what to turn to. That's why you've got all these idiots.
Said we were talking about Tommy.
Talking about, you know, you've got these idiots. What is it? Britain first. What? Britain first. All you've got to do is add above all. Britain first above all, and then we're chanting the same fucking thing as what Nazi Germany chanted: Deutschland over alles.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Germany above all. That's what that's all about. That's what it's all about. But the Zionists, these people are Zionists. The guy who's leading Britain first is called Paul Golding. So that's a Jewish name. So what's he messing in English affairs for? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Making out like he's English, when actually he's got loyalties to other people. So he's trying to stir up English against people that aren't native, or maybe have been born here but have got a different religion, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's all right for him to be be born here, but be from another background and have an agenda and have a religion. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, it's not. But
Zionists don't follow the Torah. Yeah. Zionists follow the Talmud.
What's the difference? You know what I mean? Can you explain what the difference is in general terms?
Torah, Bible, thou shalt not kill. Do unto others as you want done to yourself. Talmud, we're the Jews, they're the Gentiles. We can kiddie fiddle. People, we can, you know what I mean? We can do what we want to them. We can kill them. We can get them to kill each other. Hey, that's one, isn't it? We can get them to kill each other. World War I, World War II, all the rest of it wars, all wars that's going to come, all wars that's happening now. We kill each other. We kill each other, and we pay to kill each other.
Yeah, I know. Look at all the gangsters.
These people have got it locked down.
You know, there's a lot on the street I'm seeing now, just on about it before you come on, about I dread to think what goes off in school in this day and age, you know, with the youth and the communities and what they're seeing and how they're getting programmed, and, you know, they're getting told by these hip-hop 2 chains, you know, 2 bloody chains and that, and they can't afford it to go out, and how they get, you know, how they access and acquire these things that the music and the society and the media tells them that they must have and that they need. You know, wow.
You've got neuroscientists programming these people that they to think that they need and want.
Sons and daughters, not people.
They can't afford them such things, so therefore they're going to go out and steal to get them things. They're still going to want it. They're still going to, you know what I mean? They're still going to want that bling bling. They're still going to want that, you know what I mean? So, but when they're from council estates with no fucking money, no chance of thinking, what they're going to do? They're going to sell crack, they're going to sell cocaine, they're going to go and rob, they're going to steal. You know, the money system creates aberrant behaviour. It creates all this shit.
I'm going to take back about 2 Chainz just to interject, because he actually did a concert. I recall now in my brain's telling me you shouldn't have said 2 Chainz, because he did say in the concert, he said, everybody, the TV, he said the radios lied to you. You search for 2 Chainz concerts, not you, Matt, but the ones that are watching, listening later now, whatever, time paradox thingy, you know, all of. And you'll find that he's on a concert, and on the recording, he says, the radio's lied to you, everybody. I can't do this, and blah blah blah, and I'm risking my career, and this, that, the other, and you need to know the truth. And he does try, and he's another one of these. I don't know. I'm not going to go into all of what I think and why and when, but yeah, I just said 2 Chainz there, but he did actually recently. It looks like he's been a bit too much pressured, I'd say, Matt, and he's cracked a little bit, and he's come out and he's just thought, I'm going to tell everyone. You know, he's a young lad. He doesn't know the industry. He's got no experience of what we know of the industry, and what, you know, who does what, where, and when. Chappelle, Lawrence, and all that.
They know. They tell their soul.
You know, Chainz has come out, to be fair. So I take that back, and I say respect to him for trying to say something at one of his conferences, and trying to tell the youth that the radio lies to them. So, you know, that was a bad example for me to look back on.
I don't, because at the end of the day, he took the money and he's too late now. You can't go, you know what I mean?
No, you know, he's got a conflict. A man's conflicted, and he's tried to remedy it somehow, and he's done.
Yeah, because he's sold his soul, and now he wants to. He's hoping he's kept the receipt so he can get it. But he sold it. It's been sold.
I love the way you put things. You know, you like.
You know, it's been sold. He wanted it. He got what he wanted. He got 2 Chainz.
No, there's no. You don't get it. You don't get it. You can't do a refund with the devil. No, you don't. Once you've done that deal, it's a big deal. Yeah. There's no double or quits, is there, with him?
I'm not saying there is a devil or isn't, but you can still sell your soul. It's what you're willing to. You know what I mean? It's what Dave Chappelle's father said to him, apparently. But like I say, even he might think, I don't know. You've got to have limits.
Yeah, everyone's price. They call them prices, though. The industry calls it a price. There's no limits. Every man's got his price. You know, the God that everybody worships and chases now, and sacrifices their family and you know, their morals over this paper God. You know, is the one that governs now. To be fair, on most people's day-to-day decisions, they don't govern themselves with their heart or their morals or their codes. They go, right, I need that money. What do I have to do? Right, I'm going to have to annoy him, do that, dodge him, you know, not pay the landlord for a couple of weeks, do that, and, you know, crack on. And we upset and dodge, and, you know, it governs us to some extent, doesn't it?
Do you know these people, these elites and these kings and queens of the world? Do you know where they are right now?
No, I don't. I've never seen them.
I don't either, but I've got a hunch and a rough guess, right? I reckon they've got they're underground. I reckon they're down there. You know, they're not breathing tainted air. They're in air-conditioned buildings. You know, and soon, just for laugh, they'll crash economies, and they'll turn off this food. The food will not be in the supermarkets. People will go to the supermarkets. It won't be there. They'll piss the sends. They'll be sat there and they'll watch it all unfold. And like I say, law won't mean a thing.
Law doesn't mean a thing if nobody is up here enforcing it. I'll tell you this much. They can give you as many publications and PDFs and forums and private members clubs and .coms and YouTube videos and seminars and thousands of pounds worth of documents and prints and everything that comes with it in fantastic colours and gold leaf and all of this. And they can give you the facade of the Metropolitan Police being there as police constables to uphold the law with impartiality and due diligence, and man is innocent until proven guilty, and there is all these maxims and principles and upholding, you know, fabrications and instrumentations of society and law. Yes, it's marvelous. The United Kingdom and England, it's fucking incredible what they've done over there. It's a pillar of the world, you know. Well, no, it's not, because look what's happening. You know, look at the whole infrastructure, the state, the officers, you know, the admiralty, the actual way that it's run, the actual budgets, the deficits, the loss of officers, the loss of pensions, income in the Euro officers, how it's, you know, how it's all managed. And if man is being threat as a person and having this bullshit annexing of the name and the public liability and the assumptions and the presumptions of law tell man that you are not innocent until proven guilty, because there are these rules that this society that Matthew's just eloquently put into perfect position earlier that govern and run us. And if you don't know who your foe is, then you'll never ever win. And it's a joke that man, after all those battles and bloods and what you've just said about world wars has happened for the wealth and the riches of this land to be usurped so sneakily and so snily that man doesn't even know how to stop it once it's begun, because it's everywhere and it's nowhere. It's a bit like the omnipresent business. It's infected like a virus, and there's only one way, one pill that you can take to stop it, and it's probably just knowing who you are and what your obligations and who's pulling whose strings, who is the puppet master. Are you?
It's demanding an end to the resource to money system. That's what the end is. Otherwise, you're fucked. I can tell you now, you're fucked. You can learn all the rules, all their fucking laws and everything, and all these. You're fucked because people they pass laws and acts and statutes, and people just go along with it. They don't say, fuck that, you know what I mean? Not a chance, this, that, and other. People try to, but other people get, and all this bollocks, and it just becomes law, and, you got to pay it, and this kind of mentality sits in.
They employ a solicitor, someone who sells themselves for time, and they don't know what's happening.
They're all soliciting business. Everybody's always trying to solicit
solicitor. No, they employ a solicitor, and they're part of that society. And
no, but what I'm saying is, everybody's a solicitor. In a money system, everybody's trying to solicit some money from somebody.
Oh, in that way, yes.
Like everybody is trying to solicit something. And I seen something the other day, and it was on about landowners and this hereditary stuff and this, that, and other landowners. And there was a guy who, the landowners wouldn't speak to this guy for an interview, but there was a bloke employed called Quentin. I imagine he was called Quentin. And he basically sat there in his tweed jacket and whatnot, and he was saying... well, one guy says, what did he say now? What do you say to those people that say it's not fair? And he said, well, it's not fair that your wife might be beautifuler than mine. And I thought, what the fuck? But anyway, and then he says, basically, what are you trying to say? He says something, and the guy says, what are you trying to say is, life's not fair. That's just the way it is. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, yes, that's it, really. That's all in a nutshell. That's it. That's just the way it is. And I thought, at the moment, that's not the way it is. It's the way it is at the moment, until the people choose something different, but they're not being given the right information to make those choices. Yeah. People people need to be sat down and made fully aware of the possibilities of using, you know what I mean, this technology that's around us, that's been around us for a long time now, apply the fucking principles of all the religions, or practical application of do as thou, do you know what I mean, love thy neighbour, you know what I mean, fucking all of it.
To end man-made scarcity and cyclical consumptions, then, would be a way.
Yeah, because you're always going to have parasitic thing, because you've got to sell stuff, you've got to bullshit, you've got to, I've got to sell my product, I've got to sell my product, I've got to sell my product to survive.
We live in a perpetual debt, fiat currency, federal bank of
cyclical consumption.
Let me speak. Breathe. Let me speak. Have a breath. It's like
you did before for a long time.
It's like the I said about the Federal Reserve, and I should have said about the Rothschild and Windsor Bank. In America, they have the Federal Reserve. Well, it's neither government and it's neither got any reserve. It's a private banking consortium. Anybody that's part of the international banking and central banking system, private banking and so forth, can be part of that. That's how it works, a private club. And over here, as Matt can probably, I'll let you after I've finished this, go on about maybe if you know anything about how the Bank of England and its deceitfulness with the Rothschild and Waterloo, Wellington, whatever going off, but and the bonds and shit and the message coming back and what they did.
William.
Yeah,
I think William.
We've got. Let me just finish it. The Bank of England, brothers and sisters, is a trick.
Bank of England. Bank of England.
I said breathe a minute. It's my turn, and then you can go on after that. But yeah, I just wanted to say it's Rothschild at Windsor, and basically it's not the Bank of England, is it, Matt? Go on, take it away. Do it, brother.
Well, it's Bank of England if you read it in English. If you read it in legalese, it's Bank without England. The only thing England, the people might own is the building. That's it. They don't own anything. It's a private bank. All central banks are private. They're not fucking central banks.
Consortiums.
And it's all just a big fucking blag because they're the ultimate gangsters. Any crack dealer, any gangster that thinks they're bad, thinks they're Mr. Bad, driving that in a fucking Audi, a BMW, even if they bought an house, they bought 3 fucking cars, they've got 4 businesses, they ain't shit. The 2-bit fucking nonsense, you know what I mean? Nobody.
Now you're full ball, aren't you? Fully opened up, aren't you? Now he's off. Wow.
Nobody's. All these fucking coke dealers, all these Tommy Robinsons, you know what I mean? Jealous because Asians have fucking taken over their fucking criminal market. You know what I mean? That's what all these football hooligans are amassing into political parties for.
What? Hang on a minute. Whoa. You just said the Asians are taking over in a criminal market.
No, I'm just saying, there's a criminal underworld in this country. All countries have a criminal underworld, yeah? And they vie, and different factions vie for control of that. So if Asians can bring more in or can get hold of stuff, or they could, or do you know what I mean? And whites can't get it as easy, or they get it cheaper. So somebody runs the market.
There's genuine business what they engage in, and that they rip off from.
Yeah, for years, football hooligans. Everybody knows that football hooligans.
Yeah.
Firms, as they call them, firms. What firm are you from?
Blades and that. Sheffield got Blades.
So basically, for years, the firms have had little rooks. They meet up, have a little fight and a scuffle and that, and then also they link up, and there was a network of criminal activity associated with these hooligans. You see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was drugs distributed around the country and stuff like that. So this is my personal opinion on what these fuckers are on with. Not only that, but they're funded by Zionists and stuff like that. So they're trying to try and eat it. These people are not fucking moral people. These people don't live by common law. Do you know what I mean? These people fight each other. They fight their fellow countrymen on a fucking, you know, on match days. And people, many a people, just fucking family men with the kids and that, have been caught up in that shit. Yeah, fair enough if 2 groups of guys want to have a fight, fair enough. But hey, when they're doing it in public and they're glassing and throwing bottles about and there's kids there, who are these people? Fucking scumbags. That's who these people are. Britain first. Fuck you. Fucking scumbags. That's what they are. That's what they always will be. Same with EDL boy. But I'm sorry, they are good people. They're just misinformed and misguided. And they're following the wrong people. These people, their granddads would raise from the grave and kick 10 bags of shit out of them. You know what I mean? The rifle they carried in World War I and World War II, falsely killing their fellow man, they would know about that injustice and that bullshit and that they died for nothing, and they'd come back and they'd say, don't you dare, and they'd rifle butt them. They would kick the shit out of them.
I dare say they would. Yeah, this is the point, that there's been far too much.
They'll say that they'd raise up. They'd say they'd raise up the opposite way. They'd be mad that there's loads of Muslims in this country and this, you know what I mean? But now, I think they'd raise up and say, hold on, we died fighting Nazis and now you're trying to chat shit like one.
Yeah, there's been too much talk.
Disguising it up as if you're not, you're more patriotic. Sorry, no, don't fly with me, that shit. Don't fly with me. So, like I say, a lot of these people that are supporting Britain First, EDL and that, I'm not saying you're bad people. I'm just saying you're misguided. I'm saying if you really knew the truth, that I can guarantee you won't be there. You won't be making that decision. Well, you won't agree with me now. You'll be calling me a knobhead and this and another. What I suggest you look at epigenetics. I suggest you look at Bill Lipton, and I suggest you look at Jack Fresco, you know, and listen to him, how he joined KKK and disbanded them. I'm doing wrong by attacking him because he says you shouldn't attack him, but you know what I mean? I can't.
You can't. Yeah, that's right.
The state of the situation of the people that get funded to speak on behalf of the working man in this country it disgusts me, because the only people that get funded and get on that television clapping, you know what I mean, are the fucking idiots that are paid by, you know what I mean? You got Tommy Robinson in New York with I'm a Zionist on his badge.
I know, and he's going to universities to speak and that. Me and Andy and you could do a going to some of the universities and having a chat, you know.
People will say, oh, I'm anti-Semitic, but I'm not anti-Semitic because I just can't understand how I was brought up to be taught that Hitler were bad and he killed all Jews. That's what I was taught in my school in England. Yeah, Hitler were fucking bad and he killed all Jews.
He killed a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Hitler was bad, but he was hand in hand with Jewish bankers, and that's why when I found out Jewish bankers funded both sides at war, it's like, hold on, so Hitler killed Jews, Jewish bankers gave him money, that's how he got to power, that's how he got his power, so he wouldn't have been able to kill Jews if Jewish bankers didn't give him money and raise him to power. And what the hell, do you know what I mean? And then I find out, hold on, he was putting Jews on boats to go to Israel, and so it's like he's hand in hand with Zionists. You know what I mean? Them Jews that wanted to stay in Europe because they believed that they weren't allowed to go there until Jesus came back. You know what I mean? They got fucking ovened. They got put in an oven. Them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Good decent people put in an oven.
Yeah, they got tricked and told they were going somewhere and that, and then it was a gas chamber. And
you know what I mean? And then you look at what's happening. How Israelis, how these people treat the Palestinians, how they've just basically not stopped until they've eradicated them. You can see by that map when they first went in and set it up, they got a bit, and then boom, 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 boom. It's just fuck me. When do you stop? When you've taken all of that, will he stop then? Will he just carry on? Just take, you know, so yeah, it's just, and the nation is tiny and it's got so much control over the rest of the world. It's tiny. It's like, you know what I mean? It's so tiny.
You get so much. How much support does it get every week? It gets more support from Europe and America in a week than Africa probably does in a year, I believe.
I've seen that interview and that bloke, he's got some balls. He goes and he asks questions in Israel and he asks them, and there's one old bloke and he's like a rabbi type. And he says, no, let him come in. He says, I'll tell you. He says, you work for us. He says, look around the world, who builds the cars, the houses, the networks, the everything? He says, you all build it. You know what I mean? And he's right. And it's
but Jews do work. Jews have jobs, so they do work.
Yeah, I'm not on about normal fucking working man Jews, and I'm not a Jew bashing either. You know what I mean? Even them dirty, paedophilic, racist, Talmudic ones, well, they've got a choice. They've still got a choice as well, because even though they're brought up with that book and that programming, they can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was
brought up in an all-white area, and I you know, and a lot of heard a lot of racist stuff and comments that were thingy. But I turned my back on that. I didn't embellish that. I didn't, you know what I mean, go with it. I saw they were wrong. But I did when I was a kid. It went until I got a black friend, and then I thought, oh, you know what I mean? What's all why the people dodgy?
I remember the programme called Love Thy Neighbour on the BBC, and the word Sambo and Nignog coming out of the BBC, amongst other things. Was it not Love Thy Neighbour? Something like that, what they had? They were the mouthpiece when we go on about... They were a few like the stand-up comedians that were allowed to slate, and the things that come out of that programmed into the mass population's mind. The working class.
I think they were a government film in 1950s or 60s, and it was, I think it was done by BBC as well, but it was government funded as well, I think, or something like that. And I remember watching it, it was terrible, because basically the Jamaicans and that come over from Caribbean, They wanted to rent an house. Landlords wouldn't rent them an house. They'd rent one family, one room in one house. So you'd have like 6 families living in a room, in an house, one house, yeah. And they were forced to live like that because nobody'd rent them. You know what I mean? So it was like, this is all we can rent, you know what I mean? Because they're just making money off from us. So yeah, and then next minute, so they're forced to live like that. They don't want to live like that. They're forced to live like that. Next minute, there's a like, you know, this program, it's showing living in these houses, and it's making out like they do it by choice. They don't even live like normal people. They like to, you know what I mean? They overcrowd the houses, this, that, and other. It's like, oh my God. And that's how you do it, you see. You force people into situations, and then you make footage and thinking, saying, look, they're all bad, they all live like this. And same thing what they've done with Muslims, huh?
The Windrush, so that'll be institutionalized. You have institutionalized and sociological control by government policy, things like that. And it will have been partly then the Windrush generation that was coming over as part of the invitation from the Commonwealth.
It's divide. They painted them as if they were savages, as if they were, you know, as if they were dirty, as if they lived different to us.
Subhuman.
So English people wouldn't accept them. They didn't want English people to accept them too much because then they'd stand together, you see. You don't want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, divide and conquer.
You see. So all the clever fucking kill each other. We won't kill each other, do you know what I mean? And we do it freely and readily.
No peace and love. Peace and love. They have none of that here. This is a local place for military personnel only. Where's your card? Here's your ID. Papers, please. You're free to go.
I don't accept that this world offers, Earth offers anymore, do you know? I don't accept it, and I don't have to. Nobody can make me, so, and I never will. I never will accept it, you know. It's just stupidity. How we live and how this planet's run is run idiotically.
Wasn't it? You remind me of John Lennon, who says it's run by what? Psychopaths? It's run by psychopaths. And
they are the sick individuals, the sick people. And like he says, I'd like to know, you know what I mean, what their plan is. But they tell you what the plan is. They tell you what the plan is. We're all going to be going soon. We're all going to be dying soon, so we won't be needed because they're going to use the machines. We could use the machines. We could demand the automation being put in place. Do you know what I mean? Government-owned automation at first, just to get ball rolling. So, hey, fuck that. You know what I mean? You only have state benefits and all this. Well, we're going to buy automated systems that's going to make life easier for the people.
A sovereign grant? What do you mean, a sovereign grant?
So when jobs go, people don't have to worry about losing, you know what I mean, going jobs. We should be celebrating industries getting turned over to being fully automated, not crying. Who wants to be a slave? They're going to get us to demand that we don't use technology to better mankind, to free us up.
Yeah.
Because we can't do it until we get rid of the money system. You cannot. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. Until we get rid of the money system, you can't do it because in the money system, it's going to put people out of jobs. But I'd have a look at China. If I were you, because their population is going to be old soon. Average one's going to be 55 or something like that, yeah. And in China, there are factories of robots banging out robots. You got robots making robots, machines making machines, yeah, and they're banging them out because they're cracking on with automation. And they're under some illusion that there'll always be a job. They'll always find another job. Aren't you worried about the workers? But there was one guy working in his factory, and slowly but surely he's seen all his colleagues go, basically, and he's going soon as well because the factory's about to be fully automated.
Yeah, they're doing it over here, the banks and that, you know, every time we go into a bank over here, listen, let me speak, when we go into a bank here, you get pushed to a machine, there's no cash machine, there's no lady or man to the cashier, you know, at the front anymore, there's a main desk. If you dare to try to pay cash or ask to go in and try to use one of those cashiers, tell me what your comments are. It's hilarious. Oh, well, you can use it, yeah, but every time I use that, it gets stuck and it goes wrong, and yeah, but we fixed them now, they're better. Oh, well, well, I'm really in a rush and I'm next in the queue. Yeah, but if you just come over and try it, and you go over and try it, and it gets chewed up or it gets it wrong, and you're there 10 minutes, and you said, I did tell you this, love, you know, forced me to come over. The days of the customer being right have long gone. I'm just a cash cow. I'm not a business customer. I'm not paying rates or interest or accounts with finance and credit, and I'm not in arrears and owing loads of money and indebted to you with my life and blood and house and chained and remortgaged. So yes, I just appreciate I'm just here as a bit of a, you know, drone, and I'm sorry to have bothered you, and I will of course use that machine, and you know, I will look at the floor and I won't speak, and you know, sorry for being here. I'm only English, man, you know, I'm ever so humble. Fucking what? And you, my love, you are doing yourself out of a job. Well done. It's mental. It's really mental. It really is what we're doing. And we just think we believe that the government and the systems in place will look after us, Matt, because they haven't done us that badly so far, have they? They've pretty much, you know, they've looked after us pretty well. Look at the guys that come back from war. They're looked after well, aren't they? We don't need charities to cater for them or anything, do we? Shh.
Any time that you have spent in your life worrying about, sorting out, counting, doing anything to do with financial transactions, money, out like that, has been wasted. Any and all legal matters that you've been involved in has been a waste of time and need not have happened and occurred. You know, all this stuff that's happening, all these court processes, it's just part of the money system machine. It's a byproduct of it. When you've got man-made scarcity, people haves and have-nots. When you have that, you will have people stealing. You can say fucking God says don't steal, but hey, if someone needs to feed the kids and someone's got more than what they need, they're going to go, fuck it, they've got more than what they need. I'm going to rob some of their potatoes. I'm going to rob some of their fucking grain, you know, and they will come and take it. You know what I mean?
Well, what I would like to see is man to know that by being born, not birthed, and being in creation, that there is and I'd like chance just a minute to explain that there is like a system at hand that they've given us a way out with, and it does take a little bit.
No way out.
I'd just like a minute to explain. They have given us a little way out with this certificate of birth and birth certificate and instrumentation and thumbprints and set law, you know, going back to when we had wagons and we was pioneering, and set laws as in the traditional word set law, you know, beneficiaries, trustees, this legal construct, as you've just eloquently put there, has entangled man and legally made us responsible as persons when we haven't got a clue about this insolvency and bankruptcy. This is the ideal thing to do when you are in a system that is governed, that is currently in bankruptcy, that has no assets or collateral or intrinsic value other than the shit we've built and the acquisitions and stocks and mergers that particular international corporate body has to its name on paper. You know, there is no value, there is nothing. You know, it's truly insane that a man doesn't know that when you're saying, you know, we're talking about the food distribution centers being empty and being in debt and having to, you know, perhaps exit this realm because you can't pay all of the money and the debts made and claims on your legal person. You can divert that liability and them claims quite craftily, admittedly, but once you've got a handle on it and you know who you are, there is a system out. But we didn't get taught that, and so by default they lose because they've tricked and entrapped us and deceived us. So we've said it before, you can't remain honourable in a dishonourable system, because that's what they're asking you to do, isn't it, in a way?
No, I've said that dishonourable people can't dictate whether you're honourable or not. They can't set up a system based on dishonour and then say, right, by our dishonourable rules, we tell you if you're honourable or not. How the fuck does that work out now? And yeah. all the laws, like I said, they won't matter shit. Trust law, fucking common law, nothing will matter when there's no food in shops. Nothing will matter. It's every man for himself.
Game of Thrones on the streets, The Walking Dead.
And,
It'll be The Walking Dead versus the Game of Thrones.
Well, I haven't seen Hollywood, but I've seen adverts. It's just like that Purge, what they say about Purge. They'll be accepting that stuff like that. But no, and also, I see a world, I'd like to see a world where the people of these countries, nations, start demanding what's right. Common heritage, all resources, common heritage for all people to be distributed equally around the earth. All knowledge, all technological knowledge, all of it distributed, all of it open source, all knowledge open source. Nobody, I've got an idea, it's my idea. Well, you fucking keep it then, you fucking twat. Why don't you give it to rest of people, because so people can better that idea, make it better, work on that. No. None of that. That mentality's gone. And I'd like these governments to say, oh, but we'd have to do a legal process. And the people to say, get fuck your legal process. You're not getting involved in this shit. You're all going. All of you, all of you speakers of nonsense, all you meddlers, all you fucking peddlers, all you fucking problem makers, not problem solvers, will be gone. The engineers will run this earth.
Like, yeah, the UK government's had a campaign going for 40 years, Matt, about obesity, and I'd just like to point out that at this point in time, man's sons and daughters are leaving the indoctrination camps fatter and heavier than ever, and that's after 40 years. That's right, 40 years, and don't know how many millions of investment of the government to keep our offspring and property and sons and daughters slim. It's failed. It's failed. Just like most of them do, it went over budget. It cost millions, and it's done nothing. It's a bit like that job scheme you told me about, where they spent millions and they compared the people. What was it that got jobs?
It worked welfare to work program. They invested something like $5 billion or something like that. So basically, that money went to all variant golf clubs, mates, setting up agencies type things that were basically they were going to take people job centres there to find people jobs, but somehow they thought that investing all this money, setting up loads of private companies to find people jobs when they've already got job centres to find people jobs. Yeah. I don't know where to get
the infrastructure was there.
People are too busy chasing dollar and going to work 9 to 5 to even bother to they can't do anything about these things. That's what I mean. The system is fucked. You can't do out about it. You can't go out and protest because you've got to pay your bills. You've got to pay your rent. You've got to pay everything. That shit on finance, the car.
You're digressing.
I'm not digressing. I'm using loads of words like you. So what I'm saying is they spent all that money and people that then people got told from job centre, you've got to go to this place. And I went to there were 2 of them, Pinnacle, somewhere, and there was somewhere else. There were a couple. There were loads actually. There were shitloads. And so there you go. You go there, and they just send you for job interviews anywhere and everywhere, basically. It's not like, do you know what I mean? What would you like to do? What industry would you like? Do you know what I mean? You've got 2 arms and 2 legs and a mouth. Let's go. Boom. You can go in that factory. What? No. What do you mean? You're turning down a job? What? No, I just don't. Oh, Christ. Fucking, you know what I mean? And then they fuck you that way, right? So basically, these experts were supposedly experts at finding people jobs, even though that's what they were doing. Basically, you were less likely. I forgot what it were now.
The money they spent on the jobs, and how many people?
Well, basically they gave $5 billion away to them private companies, and they actually they should have got all that back because they failed. So yeah, you were statistically more likely to get a job if you just went to a job centre. But bearing in mind, if you were at a job centre and they would send you to this welfare to work programme and you refused it, you got your money stopped. So it were a bit of a thingy because you couldn't refuse it. So, you know what I mean? So even if you knew about them statistics, you could have actually said, well, no, I'd prefer to get a job through here because I'm statistically more likely to get a job from here rather than
insubordinate is being violent, security, threat. They would have
still stopped your money and sent you on your way, do you know what I mean? And you'd had to appeal. But, so yeah, they just make up things for them to make money. You know what I mean? Nobody benefited from that. People didn't get, do you know what I mean? They could have just put that 5 billion into job centres. Do you know, they could have paid job centre staff more money. They could have put people's benefits, discretionary funds for people that need it, you know, in hard times. Oh, they could have done it many different ways, but they don't. They just do it for their own good. They set up companies, they milk shit, they'd have subsidies, do you know what I mean? And then all these companies pop up, they have government incentives, means that we're going to can take some of your taxpayers' money, what we should be using for hospitals and universities, then we're going to divert it to some of our mates. Then companies are going to be only in existence for a short amount of time, but it's okay because we will have milked the money. You know what I mean?
And meanwhile,
the 5 billion
we've
gone.
got the sons and daughters leaving the indoctrination camps at 18, signing up for International Monetary Fund issued national insurance cards and social security numbers and friends across the pond, and then they say, oh yes, well you join this club and you get on here and you get this card, and what happens is if ever you know there's a time in your life where you're hard up, we'll look after you and we'll give you money, and you sign on and you know you make your credits and your contributions and everybody's happy. When you've finished your working, come to retiring, we'll give you a lump sum or whatever, we'll pay you some money, you know, and you'll be looked after, get your prescriptions, your free TV, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, you just sign here, everybody's happy. Or there is another option actually, because you know you are the creditor and you are the actually, you know, the one that is making all this possible, and we are here to work for you, the man. So if you'd like to be a man instead of a person or a citizen, you can sign this, and basically you can manage your own affairs and estate, you know. But really, we don't trust you and we think you're a child, so let us do it. We'll manage it all, claim it all, and fuck you over, and you can have liberties and freedoms and, you know, sanctions, and if you don't play the game, well, we're going to take it all and we'll come for more, and we make it all, and if we don't give you any and we want it, then we'll just put you in a square box. What? And yes, have you met Barry? What? No, you don't tell him none of that when you're 18, and you might think twice about how we sign up to submit for. Because that's half the problem. You get out and you get in this system, and the ones we have to educate, dare I say educate, but to, you know, fulfill us with the knowledge to come out into the real world, they don't quite do that, do they, somewhat? And you don't get any legal training either before you come out of these camps, and then you come out into the real world and you go to sleep at 17, wake up at 18, and now you're legally responsible, but you don't know anything. How does that work? Mental.
All these people are just that are studying all this. That's why I stepped away from law thing. I know that I don't cause harm, injury, loss, or fraud. That's all I need to know. Do you know? Everything else is bullshit. Do you know? This the very fact that you have to learn all that shit and fuck about doing crests and fucking coats of arms. How many people is there in fucking world? How many people is there in this country? They're all going to go fucking private, and they're all going to do all this trust and, you know. They can't, it's not possible. They won't allow it. The establishment will not allow it. You know, and the very fact that you have to do all that just to try and be free, and you still won't be free, you know, is evidence enough for me that this shit's got to go. And that's why I subscribe to a resource-based economy, technologically advanced, using technology to free up man. All different platforms, you know, like YouTube, Facebook, all that. You can just have one. You know what I mean? But because of competition and cyclical consumption and this bullshit system, we've got all different loads and loads of different platforms. So you've got to tweet it on there, and then you've just got to twatter it on there and put it on your Instagram and your thing, you know what I mean? You'd just have an account, but you wouldn't have to worry about government interference, because there wouldn't be a government.
We would be self-governing. That's the point. Global governance or self-governance. That's the choice that we're at the crossroads of. Would you like international, global governance, or do you think we're capable, dare I say it, of intelligent self-governance? Wow.
No, global governance. There's nothing wrong with global governance and globalism and all this, but you know what I mean? It's how they want it. They don't want a new world order like the Venus Project. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They want their new world order. So all these systems that are tracking and tracing, and YouTube itself is a psyop.
Oh,
YouTube
yes.
itself is a psyop.
Oh,
Going
yes,
live on YouTube is a psyop.
Yeah.
Because before people did videos and then they edited them and they went, oh no, I shouldn't have said that, and they don't know. Now they're going live so they can get every little subconscious, do you know what I mean, thought from your brain to see what they're really thinking, who's a dissident, who's not against them, who's not, and you know, it's just but that's just the way it is. But it will be used against us, and in this shitty system and this thing, a lot of this technology is very invasive and dodgy because we have no freedom.
Hello, Alexa, turn on the light. Alexa, Dot. Hello, Echo.
Freedom.
Hello,
We've got
Echo.
no freedom. But all this stuff is good. Do you know what I mean? All this stuff is good. I would trust.
Star Trek computer. Star Trek computer is Alexa. Yes, you're right.
Well, it is. You have a computer that stores the stuff. It does. That's what I'm going to say. There's nothing bad about an algorithm or computers that, you know, like them that track all the. Is it linear view or something? They track all these bikes in real time and everything and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? That's what it would be. The automated sensor, it wouldn't be running us. It'd be sending water to places where there's droughts without them having to say, oh, we're dying of thirst, we're dying of it. Water's already been sent.
Correction, without them saying, oh, Coca-Cola's set up and it's taken all the villages and towns' water. We need more now. All right. Coca-Cola's recently played this. Let me play. Coca-Cola's set up, have they? And they've taken 90% of the community's water and surrounding areas. All right. Okay, let me divert. We'll stop it going from Coca-Cola and we'll give it back to the people because life, the CEO of Nestle, who was it that said water is not a human right? Life and water are two of the most divine things that go hand in hand, I'm afraid, and that's what we shall have. And denial of that is a crime against man, I would argue. And if a corporation ever in my lifetime, if I come to know that man gets denied the basic concept of oxygen and hydrogen together as H2O, and that life-giving substance is overridden by the say-so of a non-living entity, a third-party corporation that's a soulless fucking, it just exists on paper, but yet it tells man it can't have water. Well, that's the time when you have to actually, just wake up.
There's a reason why.
Hello, Bueller.
There's a reason why all these corporations are so powerful, and that's because we put them on a pedestal. We put people with money on a pedestal. If people thought I had 3 billion you know what I mean? People would be listening to my words.
We've done so well so far. We've hit it well. He hasn't got 3 billion.
They'd be listening to my words hard now. But because I'm penniless and I ain't got and I live day by day, and I've cut myself, you know, this is just for anybody listening. I've cut myself off from the system, and for nearly a year now, I've survived off with no government help when I could have got it.
Have you not submitted? Did you not submit?
I've paid my rent. I've paid my fucking bills, and you know, it's been hard. It's been disgusting. Sometimes for 4.5 months, I ate porridge twice a day, porridge with cinnamon. You know. If I were lucky, some frozen fruit in it. But yeah, twice a day porridge, that's all. It's 75p, I think it were, for a kilo. So milk, well, it was for coat, do you know what I mean? But I've lived like that, and I'm not asking for sympathy, you know, that's my choice. But I've made choices, hard choices, and like, you know what I mean? And it has an effect on you. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do. I drive about and I look for the result of cyclical consumption, which is washing machines and other metal on the side of the road. Do you know what I mean? I've been scrapping and doing that.
Cleaning up the environment.
I've been working. You know where I can get work if it's a couple of days, or if someone wants a house cleaning and stuff. I've done it and I'm doing it and I will be doing it. You know, and I'm trying to pay my way, and people will say, "Oh, he's a tax avoider and this and that." Hey, I'm earning fuck all. I'm earning 50 quid a day and stuff like that sometimes. So hey, you know, so if I don't think government's something, fair enough. But what about all these fuckers that's on billions and millions and they're tax avoiding? I'd look at them first before you look at me. You know, and I'll give all my wages to government if my kids could go to university, if I myself could go to university, you know what I mean? But we aren't getting in debt. For for a young person to go to university and get an education, they've got to get into debt now. So they've got to become a slave, a debt slave, even though they're already a debt slave, but they've got to become an even bigger debt slave just to get some knowledge. Do you think people are going to turn away from knowledge? Do you think we're going to get a dumbed down nation from that kind of policies?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Or whereas if all medical university courses, all engineering courses were free, do you think we'd get like super brain fucking?
That's a clever idea, isn't it? That's a jolly clever idea. Wow!
But
and coming from a peasant,
man who don't finish school, you know what I mean? Didn't go to school for the last 2 years. He's suggesting things like this. Do you know what I mean?
And on fluoridated water. Fucking hell!
It's just bullshit. That's what I mean. And people can't see it. They'd rather blame other people. They'd rather try and have a fight with people. You know what I mean? It's just.
It's the Polish. Actually, I blame the Polish. Yeah, I'm right. Sorry, I'm just saying that's, you know. Europe's become labelled as mini Africa. What? That's not nice, is it? See what they're doing there, Matt? Mini Africa, little Africa.
No.
Little Africa, eh?
No, it's like that. That's what I mean. They're letting people, they're moving people from different cultures around the world to cause instability, to cause fucking stuff to happen. You know what I mean? It's just a game to them. They're sitting back and watching. It's what we do and how we react and how we get played. That's the thing, because we're the ones being played. You know what I mean? I'm not. I've took myself out of that. You know, all them equations. Judge nobody. But yeah, there probably might be some rapists coming across. But hey, what happened in Crusade? All them fuckers, Britain first, walking around with St. George dressed up as in a night suit, you know, taking you back to mentality of the Crusades. Well, let's go back to mentality of the Crusades. What happened? Oh yeah, Pope, a religious man in charge of religious people, working from a book that says, "Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that, thou shalt not do." You know what I mean? Sends rapists and murderers to Middle East. Do you know what I mean? That's who they sent first before armies. They emptied the jails. They emptied them all across Europe, and they sent them there to rape women and children and murder them and do that. Do you know what I mean? And I remember, I forgot what it were now, about when Christians went and they slaughtered all them in Jerusalem. The blood ran up to the knees of the horses. That's quite a deep, that. Because they slaughtered everybody. They slaughtered anything that was living. Women, babies, kids, women, you know what I mean? But apparently, by all accounts, that I think it's been sacked a few times and taken over by Muslim Christian, you know what I mean? And then I think when Muslims went in, they spared all women and children and stuff. So when you're trying to paint people in a picture, I just think, ugh, you know what I mean? But I'm not a Muslim, but hey, I can see what, you know what I mean? But,
I've seen a church in Hungary with a crescent moon beneath a cross on the top of a church in gold. I've seen 5. I've got 3 different pictures, photographs, and apparently this is how I come to learn that Turkey used to be over in the land of the Huns in Hungary, and they used to rule over them. France had a little quibble with Hungary about size of land and fucking tenure and so forth, and it turns out that, oh yeah, these cheeky little toe rags, Matt, these Turkish and the Hungarians, the Christians and the Muslim out there, they only used to go and pray to the same church, you know, same time together, and they, you know, they were together in the same house worshipping. I'm like, so you've got the moon and the cross together, and everybody went in there, and you've left it up still, and everybody's fine with that. And
yeah, told me that I've worked with Turkish, and I was in a restaurant once, and one of the blokes he pointed to pictures around the restaurant, and he was saying, we've got some of the oldest churches in world in Turkey, and he says over time there's been different people in control, and some people's like, you know, come trying to persecute Muslim or Christians and that, and the Muslims, the working people, you know what I mean, the people. So there's Christians and Muslims living together in a village. Somebody's coming, they're like, oh, we're going to arrest some Christians, or you know what I mean, and they're grabbing up people and going, oh, you're Christian, and then Muslims across the road are going, whoa, he's not going on about, he's Muslim. we grabbing him for? You know what I mean? Protecting them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's lots of churches there, so Christians and Muslims have lived in Turkey for a long time together without killing each other. You know what I mean? So it's just the bullshit. You see stuff on fucking, it's all man-made. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be hating people. You should be, you know what I mean? There's differences with people, and you go to different cities. You go to different people's houses. People are dirtier than others. People are cleaner. People are, you know what I mean? Everyone's fucking different. You don't grasp about it.
Yeah, we're living in an unnatural way, though, when man's being forced to live in an unnatural way. So,
rape is rape, and rape is bad. Rape of children is bad. Rape of women is bad. Rape of men, rape of boys. Rape is bad.
Rape of rights, your rights.
Physical,
don't forget the rights.
Physical or psychological or what, it's bad. So I'm against anyone that does that, yeah? But whereas these people will go, I'm against Muslim rape gangs, and they're not saying fuck all about royalty, about elite, about music industry, about any other pedo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm against these people. There's other pedos. There's pedos all over fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's a brown one. But he's a brown pedo. He's the worst kind. What?
They're just fucking idiots. It's like, you know what I'm going to do with you? You obviously want to fucking rumble, and you just want to fake you. You want to be violent. So I'm going to give you your wish. We're going to come and get you every Saturday. And we're going to, just take them to, we'll have a big stadium. They like football stadiums. We'll have a big football stadium. We'll have a fucking big football pitch, and it's massive. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, maybe 14. Push it at 16 rings, octagons. And you can just fucking, you know what I mean, step up if you think you're man enough and you want to fight all that, you know what I mean? And you can, I want to fight Muslims. Right, okay, then we've got a few Muslims that want to fight you and also, and we'll just have it, get in there, one-on-one. Oh, you want to go fucking 10-on-1, don't you? No, I forgot. Fucking hell. You know what I mean? You could just have it if that's what they want, violence. Get you in an octagon. Your fannies, that's what it is. Tommy Robbins, English Defence. I've always wondered that. I thought it shouldn't really exist in English Defence League, should it really? Because we've got an army. So really, them people should be joining army.
They should be, yeah. It's just a front.
Well, they might get. No. Well, they might get the legs blown off. So of course, it's easier to just set up like a mini football hooligan type little crew, and then make out like you're defending England when there's an army to defend England.
It springs to mind. Yeah, you're right in what you say. Wait there, the People's Popular Front. No, but aren't we the Popular People's Front? People's Popular Front of Judea. The Popular People's Front of Judea. No, we're the People's Popular Front, not the Popular.
I'm man of Earth. That's who I am. Man of Earth, and we're all men of Earth.
I don't know who we are. It's not, that's the key. That is
not
the
fucking
key.
Anglo, you're not French, you're not German, you're not fucking Arabic, you're not any. You're just men of Earth. Simple.
Woman, man.
If you want to believe it's a flat Earth or a globe Earth, that's up to you. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, this is it. Yeah, I was going to say that earlier and I forgot because I couldn't get in the relevant bit at the time. Even brothers and sisters, right?
I'm not an heathen. How dare you?
Even my brothers and sisters, if we do take time to dispel or expel or prove or disprove or bunk or debunk these aliens and the flat Earth, both of these subjects, right? It doesn't matter because even if we do prove one way or the other, okay, it's a globe, or okay, it's a plane, okay, there's aliens, okay, there isn't. Well, if we do go down them roads and we do get some, disclosure, final disclosure that they're going to give us, then we still have all these, as we've discussed earlier now tonight, all these other factions and systems and isms and schisms and things that are above us that we still need to fix before. So the Earth and the aliens, I'm afraid, do take a back backseat, as do politics sometimes, most times, because it's just a waste and a distraction, and there are other things that they are keeping you arrested and coveted from. And the occult isn't a place of black magic and Ouija boards. It's a place of secrecy and a place of things like, Aleister Crowley and things. It's not just that. It goes a lot deeper, the occult. The things that they do, the numbers, the gematria, the everything that's the Thoth tablets, Hermes Trismegistus. It's just crazy what you can actually just go out and find. It's all
the reason why I focus on resource-based economy and Venus Project is, one, because I can't donate to it. Because if I could donate to it, I'd donate to that. It's the only cause on earth that I would actually donate to, but I ain't got the money to donate. So I do my bit by telling every fucker that I see, everybody, because that's the way we should, you know what I mean? Jack Fresco, some people who are rate spiritual might look at listen to Jack Fresco and think, oh, right, he's not rate spiritual. But hey, if you implemented the Venus Project, a resource-based economy, and did what, put into practice his idea and the practical application and all the religious values, values on earth, people would have so much time. So then people that like to meditate and do these things, and you know what I mean, they would go off and do that. Then people that like to go off and take shrooms and stuff like that and get spiritual, they'd go off and do that. There would be access to food and stuff. There'd be nothing to stop them doing that constant 24/7. If you were into martial arts, you'd be able to. Everybody would be like the Shaolin monk, because they'd be able to spend a life just doing that. You know what I mean?
Interject. I was saying earlier that these ancient civilizations that left these megalithic blocks all around the globe and seem to have a universal similar way of communicating and building, the blocks, the notches, the Mesopotamia, all of it.
They didn't have money.
We found that it seems that they wasn't all enslaved, and they had the time to go around and create and travel and move these blocks that even today, the blocks of Lebanon, is it, that if we take the world's biggest crane there, it won't be able to lift up that block. And it's like, we were doing a lot of stuff, and we was moving around, and we was happy and content to some extent, and we wasn't mindless slaves of the Egyptians, being in, and like they'd like to portray mankind as always being, of a slave format and so forth and so on. It's no, we had a different way of existence then, and we've been slowly turned into slaves, and they've made history look like we've been enslaved, and they did a Trump job with the Afro-Caribbeans, to be fair. And then
we have been enslaved,
releasing them from the bondage, allegedly. And one
of the biggest secrets. That's one of the biggest secrets that people won't be able to acknowledge. But this is what I believe personally. But the original, you say Adam and Eve, the original people were black.
I'd say so. I've talked about it.
The people that built the pyramids were black. The people that are talked about in the Bible were black. The Jews were black. The Israelites, that's why they call themselves Jews, not Israelites, because they know they're not Israelites. They're from. That's why when you look at Jewish people, they look just like Turkish people.
Yeah, but doesn't God know? God knows who his people are, surely. At the end of the day,
the Creator knows that. That's what I'm saying. But so they've been usurped. That's been usurped. But that's by the by. Now we need to unite.
But then again, hang on.
The past is the past, and the future's thing. You need to know the past so history don't repeat. But nobody does, because it is repeating. But like I was looking at something the other day, and they were on about a translation. There's 2 translations in Bible, and they were taken in Torah, and they were taken, and the words was changed in the King James Bible, and now, to this day, if you say someone's got fair hair or fair skin, you think of a white person. But the word was translated wrong. The word meant radiant. So you can get a radiant-looking black woman, you know what I mean, or a black, because it was describing, I forgot what it, Rebecca or Sarah. And then there's another one where I think somebody had a vision or something, and a vision, and they saw God up on his throne or something, and they described the colour of him. I forgot what it is now. Serpent stone and something else, and that got changed as well. When you look at the serpent stone, it's like a dark colour. So So yeah, there's just lots of stuff like that. But I can accept stuff, but I don't know what's what. Whether it is true or not true, I don't know. I'd like to focus not on that. Again, it's an alien or a flat Earth subject that, you know, I can't prove it. You know, so I'd rather just focus on ending all the hunger on the planet. You know, talk to people about how we implement
What I've
that.
been waiting to say is, what I've been waiting to say is, no, oh, wow.
1 second, I'll just finish with this then. The mark of any civilization that's advanced or not is whether it's got a money system. And we've still got a money system. So anybody that thinks we're an advanced civilization, guess again.
Have you done?
Yes, done.
All right. Yes, I agree. Yes, it's an instrument and a tool and a technology of which is suppressing us, and we can see that it's killing us. And we've only got to look at the international deals, banking deals, monetary IMF deals, Greece, Brexit, exit, Italy. What's going on? Who's making money? How the people of Greece, men of Greece, worked for 6 months, didn't get paid, lost everything. You know, insurgence of economic migrants, market collapse. You know, it's just incredible. The games they play with our lives. But what I wanted to say that I didn't say earlier that I couldn't get in was, what about that? The chosen people. So it's a creator that has a chosen people. Okay, well, what if he? What did we say the other day? What if he changes his mind? What if he doesn't have them as a chosen people?
Well, there's a clue in it. Chosen people. He's chosen them, but he can choose. If somebody can choose, they've got choice, and they can change that choice. They can change their mind and go, "Oh fuck, I don't know why I chose you all that. You fucking set of dickheads." But you know. It tells you in the Bible what happened to thinking. That's why it makes me think the Israelites are black anyway, because it says they'll be put enslaved, put on boats and all this, and you know what I mean. And I don't see no white. I don't see them in thinking that's been happened to. So that happened to black people, isn't it? And there's something about if you look at these hieroglyphs and stuff, and I think it's the Bantus.
Go on, yeah.
The Bantu people and their language. Not all of them, but some of them.
Was I not researching, and now I'm going to embarrassingly say, researching an area of Egypt of a time of just before the fall of main Egypt, pharaohs, and I can't remember. It was black pharaohs I was talking about that landmass that was huge, and I said the name of it, and now I've forgotten it because I can't recall everything.
Kemet.
Kemi, no, that's the real name for Egypt. Kemi is the real name for Egypt of in the ancient old world. Kemi, yes, that's correct. But there was a Soho or something. I'm thinking Soho. I know it's not that.
Middle East was invented by
I haven't finished. The Black Pharaohs was what I was on about. That was suppressed, and they made out that these Black Pharaohs wasn't in fact. They weren't Black Pharaohs. They came and they took and they made out like there was Black Pharaohs, but it turns out in history, Matt, there was a succession of kick-ass black pharaohs, and when they held this land, the land of Kem up above had the southern borders of the southern perimeter of the Nile heavily fortified in case these mothers came up and started kicking ass. So they knew, and it was a prevalent threat. And when they I forget the years and all of the stuff, but the latter part of it, they went and kicked ass and took Egypt.
I think the looking at them big black people's skulls that's in South America and all pyramids around the world and whatnot. I imagine there was a massive black civilization, technologically advanced, that didn't have money, and they just distributed food. Whether there were any white people at that time, I don't know, and where we came from, I'm not too sure. But yeah. I think that Africa was it went all the way up. You know, Africa, there is no Middle East. You know, I didn't know that. And a French bloke and somebody else, basically they made up the Middle East. You know what I mean? What's the Middle East? Middle East of what? It's east of what? There's Africa, there's North Africa, South Africa, East Africa, West Africa, that's all it is. That's North Africa, that. Same as all that Saudi Arabia, that's part of Africa as well.
Yep.
Oh, that's African oil.
It's all about the oil. It's all about the money.
Look at pictures in Egypt from about 100 years ago and it's full of black people. Even just 100 years ago.
I highly doubt that Jesus Christ. I highly doubt that Jesus Christ was a white man either.
He was obviously black. It was clean black. He described it in Bible as having hair like lamb's wool.
Mm.
Now you can get curly-haired white people, but hey, not like lamb's wool.
It's a telltale sign, isn't it, of genetic traceability there.
So yeah. Well, again, there's something mentioned in Bible, and I've forgotten the name. Was it Rebecca or?
It was a book of Rebecca about the babies and being born first.
Two nations wrestling. Yeah. Two nations. It said apparently. Oh, no, I'm not a Bible expert, so don't jump on me, anybody.
He is actually. He's studied it for 38
just
years.
What I can remember is something about two nations wrestling, and the guy. The point is that the guy was saying, and I thought he's got a good point there. He was saying it was about he said there were two nations wrestling inside a stomach, and the first one born shall serve the other one, and the first one born, and they describe it as like, I think it's red hair or something, but it's basically white. And then they don't describe the other one, and the other one's not described, and they're saying like, why did they describe that? Like, you know, that baby and not describe the other? It's because the other baby was the same as the mother and the, you know what I mean, as everybody else, and they were black. They were describing that baby because it was different to everybody else. So.
And the story was what? Oh, the baby was born, yeah, and one will serve the other.
Yeah.
The nations.
Yeah. If you're living by that, if you believe in that and all that, so some people, like I say, I'm not saying that I believe that, I'm saying that this is another angle to what people are saying they believe. People are all going, oh, and then thinking all these people in the Bible are white. But just, you know what I mean, check yourself, because you know what I mean, they could actually have all been black, so where would we come from? Well, we might come from that baby there. You know what I mean?
They could have been genetically modified in the foreign race that come down.
No.
Wait, finish. Let me finish. Let me speak.
I'm sticking to the Bible story.
But I just wanted to speak, if I may.
Yeah.
Somebody could have come down and genetically modified, and the ones that come down could have been a paler complexion and non-fucking human-like, but still having a humanoid type composure. And then you've got these DNA codings and so forth, and mathematics and stuff that we've seen in the emerald tablets of Thoth, and the mathematics and cell division of mitosis is even recorded in the up to the 8th division and stuff in the Qurans and in the Egyptian hieroglyphs and stuff. So somebody came down and messed around with DNA, and on this planet realm at this time now we have mans with rhesus negative blood and rhesus positive blood.
Are you talking about where white people came from?
No, I'm just saying. I'm interjecting to
people
what you
in
said.
general.
Just white people, the white race may have come from a foreign invading body that manipulated some existing colonized race's genes, or manipulated the primates' genes, and then led to an experimental games of death, so to speak. I don't know. You look to the blood. The blood tells us, the blood, the DNA, the chromosomes, and all of that tell us, doesn't it? Rhesus negative, rhesus positive. What's going on here then? Hey,
I think it's the story of Jacob or something, but in the past, you could have got somebody that likes lighter skinned people. You know, so and that's what I mean. There's all sorts of possibilities for that. Where that?
Do you remember that story of the big head scientist that you told me to watch?
I was going to mention it, but I thought I'd get rich because I didn't.
No, say it. It was incredible.
Yeah,
it's on YouTube, isn't it? Yeah, that was.
I remember telling you about it because it freaked me out. But with that the big-headed. If people want to go on YouTube and put big-headed scientists and watch that, but there is
an animation. There's loads of them, but it's an animation. That film.
There is. there's a story in the Bible that's similar to that as well, apparently, and I didn't realise. And the names are the same as well, and that's a bit weird. But like I say, weird shit happens in the world. But white people are here, so that's what I mean. I'm not saying white people should be white or subordinate to black people or like that.
No, equality is paramount. We're all the children
I
of the Creator.
believe in that law, yeah. So I think things in Bible and Quran could be misleading. I think there's certain laws. I like to overlap the Bible, the Quran, Buddhism, Hinduism, and the simulation theory, and look for similarities. And when you look for similarities, you'll see the things popping up like the law of attraction. And then you'll hear quotes, do unto others what you want done to yourself, goes around, comes around, you've got your karmic values, you've got your thing, you know what I mean? So this, whether it is...
Sheffield City Council cutting down the trees and all the other councils
whether
cutting down
it
the
is a
trees.
simulation or a simulated reality, or whether there is... and that's why you'd have... the explanation for you could have deities, and it's got code in there. So basically it's a mathematical code, and basically this is what, in fact, you're going to bring me back round to something I thought of the day.
Thank you.
So based on that, there's similarities. So within all these religions, there's some kind of, and the simulation theory, there's some kind of code there, and that code is like what people call law of attraction and all this stuff. So it's basically, you do this. It's a mathematical equation. You do this and this happens. You do this and this happens. That's why it says don't steal, don't thingy, don't, you know. If you kill people, someone's going to try and kill you. So then that shit starts then.
Guns don't kill people, rappers do.
That's hard to end that, because then, you know what I mean, you kill somebody comes and kills you, someone didn't like you getting killed, so they go and kill them, and then fucking hell, here we go again. You know what I mean?
Revenge. We don't need revenge.
100,000 years later, you've got a fucking world full of war. So yeah, that's why you've got this. These rules. So when you implement a resource-based economy and people fix up, look sharp, and that don't mean about your clothing. It means open your eyes and see things how it is. And when people realise that, they won't put the religion aside, but they'll get on. You know, most proper religious people get on anyway. It's just people who want to fight or want to fight. They'll find any.
Want to fight? Seven.
They don't know. Seven. They don't know. That's what I mean. They should if they got violent tendencies, they should just go and go to a ring or become a fighter. And do you know what I mean? That's what they should do. Not fucking vent it in other stupid ways.
Yeah, but if we're intelligent and civilized, we shouldn't even have the boxing sport to be entertainment, really, because that's kind of, you know, Roman, barbaric, like, you know, trait.
If people want to do that, they want to do that. People might want to test the skills. I don't know. It's mastery, isn't it? People like to master stuff. So sometimes when you're mastering
stuff, would it be entertainment, though?
So yeah, people might not do it in front of it. No, they wouldn't need to do it in front of a stadium. Yeah. You'd get Brian, who's double hard at whatever, and you'd get Steve at thingy, and they'd meet somewhere, and then there'd be proper people there, medical teams, everything. There'd be no crowds in the stadiums, you know what I mean? And what the result would be put out. It won't. If people wanted to, or if they both think they could let people tune in and watch it. I don't know if people would think on that. You don't know, but you can't say what people can and can't do. You know what I mean? But fighting in a ring is better than fighting in the street. As long as you're going to, you know what I mean, not going to take that out at ring. If you ever take that out at ring, you know what I mean? Yeah. But people would be looked at, it'd just be shamed. People would be shamed, but people would be educated. It'd be based on education. The people that futures look back at us like retards, like fucking cavemen. You know what I mean? You knew how to build stuff, you knew how to make stuff, but you had no wisdom. You weren't wise enough to share all the knowledge. You stood there like kids going, it's my idea. No, you're not playing with it. You know what I mean?
You sunk my battleship. It's my patent. I had that patent first. It was me that invented the radio, Tesla, not Marconi. It was only sometime later that Tesla was awarded the radio invention, was he not? Because Marconi nicked it off him. Oh, patents and numbers and stealings, and oh yes, I had it first. It's mine. Look at it. It's mine. I did the first one. Look, it was me. Yes, glory, glory, glory. Well, the glory comes from
That's
other
a money
ways, doesn't it?
system.
Eh?
That's
Glory
why you have
comes
a
from.
money system. That's why you have a patent, because of money system. You wouldn't have patents. You'd have
Glory
places where people would verify what you've done, and you'd be clever enough and articulate enough. I wouldn't be able to do it, but you know what I mean? You'd be clever enough, articulate to make blueprints and send them, and people would build what you've built.
3D printed. Oh,
that
what
works.
we could be doing
That
with
does
3D,
work.
yeah, 3D printers. Everybody should have. Every house should have a 3D printer
People
now.
need to look at People need to look at Jack Fresco, and they need to think it. They need to look at it because he on Larry King's show in 1974. Because what he talks about is stuff that didn't come around till 2000.
I heard you've got a channel as well. Whilst you're doing the Larry Jack Fresco.
Yes.
What's going on here? Remember, you asked me. Here is now is the time.
Basically, yeah. Oh, yeah. I need some subscribers because I was Well, yeah. I kind of this channel kind of started Indigo with me bombarding Dave with too much information and wanting to and worried about not remembering stuff. So Dave pointed out the fact that you can make a channel, and me being a retard went, what? And we set one up. We got it shut down because we didn't know.
Because we were badasses.
Well, we just did silly things like that. So we didn't know you could you could just make. I didn't realise you could make playlists properly. And
it does. Shut up. That's enough. Stop. Yeah, that's enough.
Something happened, and yeah, we got it terminated. So yeah, so basically, I was on it. Just what if all them playlists. Most of the playlists are on there. That's why I've set up another channel now. So Dave, because he's monetized this and he's put most of the videos up, all I've done is playlists and bombarded people with comments occasionally, especially Russell Band. Never replied. Anyway, so I've set up a channel called We Don't Need Money Anymore. We Need Automation. Because that's what we need. So it's a big word, big name, might change, don't know. But yeah, I just need subscribers. I'm going to be putting content on there. I don't know whether to put mixed content or set up another channel just for scrap videos. I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Stealth campers are us.
But yeah, and campers, and I'm thinking about going van lifing, so I don't know whether to have different channels for thingy, you know what I mean? Because I might say things that might not be acceptable on one channel, I don't know. But so at the moment, I just need subscribers. So anyone that's subscribed to Indigo, you should subscribe to me anyway, because I am Indigo.
Yeah.
So I was as well, together. Just Dave's always been a bit more forthcoming.
I speak it too much. Shut up your face.
That's why there's so many videos. And I've always been a bit shy. And plus, there is a video coming that will be. I've lived a bit of an experiment, basically. People can give you advice and people can tell you this and this, but until you put it into practice, it don't mean shit. Don't mean nothing, you know. And the experiment's about to end anyway, so
substance over form.
Not through my own thingy. I'd like to stand and wait and see what happens, but I can't afford it. I can't afford to pay this rent every month. I've worked out that even though I'm struggling at the moment, if I just go into a van, live in a van, and carry on doing what I've been doing, I should be all right. I should be comfortable. So I'll have money for credit and money for internet and all sorts of things, like food, access. Yeah. I'll have access. I won't have money. I'll have access. See, because all I ever need and all you ever need, people, is access to food, shelter, relevant education, and that's what we need. Services, goods and services. That's what we need. Access, relevant goods and services, not bullshit goods and services.
Oh, well, I want my little Chinese candy canes shipping over now.
So
I want them. I've ordered 25 little LED lights, and I want them here tomorrow, please.
Yeah, I'll be concentrating on technology and stuff like that, and I'd be liking to do link up with anybody that's got any ideas on how to do a transition, smooth, peaceful transition, get the people aware, get people just thinking, hey, why are we grafting stupid amounts a day, and every time we just sort of get on board, some new tax, some new thing, something goes up. I've noticed all through summer,
diesel and petrol.
Yeah, I've noticed all through summer, while people's been more likely to be walking in the hot, sunny, beautiful weather, not spending as much on fuel. Yeah, it didn't increase that much, the fuel prices. And as soon as weather's turned, as soon as that temperature's turned, so people are in cars more, the price goes up. You know what I mean? Slap 3 pence on it, the dumb bastards will still pay it. You see, this is why we're just cattle. We are just cattle.
Most of that money is tax. It's tax, the petrol.
Yeah, whether you claim to be... Well, I did a course, to handle petrol and stuff like that. And when you put a tenner in England,
give them a warning. Tell them if you're not sat down, everybody, sit down. If you're not sat down, I'd sit down now.
You put in £3 in your car. £7 goes to government. £3 is actually what you know what I mean. If there weren't no government thingy on it, you'd be paying £3.
What, for about 10 litres, 9.62,
so however much the tenner's worth cost.
1.36 a litre, so roughly 8.56 litres.
It's all a con. The Earth's the capacitor. It discharges electricity and charges with electricity constantly. So there's a massive amount of energy there. There's waterfalls all over the planet, just gushing with water. Millions of tons in it per second, and it can all be put into turbines and turned in turbines.
Yes, Mr. Tesla.
Everything's false. Everything's false. All technology is just being used for just stupid, idiotic reasons, and just we're using technologies that we shouldn't be using. And we can't use these other technologies because there's people with lots of money interests and want to sell lots of oil and you know what I mean? So we have to do that for 100 years first till he's made enough money and family's made enough money and they can pass that on to the rest. And now he's got a foothold in the next market and just get, you know what I mean?
Yes, it's time now for the next man, and the next man is Tony Stark. I mean, sorry, it's Tesla Incorporated. Here he is, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is here now.
So now mankind's got to wait another, you know what I mean, another 100 years. So it just gets arrested development. These idiots, just one family or one man with money or one boat with interests or a group of people with interest in that. And then everything has to just slowly progress. We'll call it progress. And look how technologically advanced we are. We're building all these machines. And you know what I mean? We're building the wrong machines, using it in the wrong way, using the wrong technologies. Money's a technology. Why are we still using it? Freaking hell.
Yeah, but it can do good. Money can do good. Money can say it can do. It's not just that it's evil. It's just that currently it's being. The
technology of money was needed to get us to here, but about 100 years ago.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree, but money itself isn't evil. It's the controllers of the systems, isn't it? It's the manufacturers. It's the federal banks.
Actually, I will say no. Actually, money is evil. Yeah, because. No, money is evil because the system it creates corruption. I don't believe there's any good or thingy. There was something that made Rothschild all the way back then, you know what I mean? Something happened. I don't know the exact environment, what made them like that, and that guy to make his family like that and say, this is plan, we're going to fucking do this over 100, 200, you know what I mean? I don't know what fucks up with them. I don't know what problem it is, what were programmed into them, whether they were devil worshippers, whether it was Talmud, whether it was this. I don't know what environment created them people, but that don't matter because they don't matter. You know what I mean? That's what I say. If people talked.
Hang on, we're on about money being evil. I said money is not evil. And you was
yeah,
going to
it is
say
evil,
how
and I said yes, it is evil because I don't believe that people are evil. I believe it's environments that dictate things. I don't believe any royal families really evil. You know what I mean? They are might be now, but when the baby's in the born, they're not. So something gets put into them, something gets programmed into them. You know what I mean? To make them that way.
Oh yeah, I've watched a good couple of videos with MK Ultra freezes where people in the actors and newscasters and that freeze up. I know about them. Yeah, how they get programmed. I've seen some of them freezing up on live TV. It's quite hilarious.
All that kind of technology, especially psychology, neurology, stuff like that. It should be getting taught to kids and stuff like that. These are important things, because it's how your brain works. It's how people fuck you. It's how people can manipulate you. It's how, you know what I mean? It's the back door of your biological computer that you're housing for a good 100 years, if you're lucky.
Oh, it's like how to lose friends and alienate people. Would you say there, Jeeves? I know that.
Somebody about computers, you teach them about backdoor. You say, what checks is a backdoor? Do you know if you're really teaching somebody about computers? I don't know all about computers and that. I might bang on about technology, but make no mistake, I'm shit. I can't even fucking, you know what I mean? I couldn't send an email until about a year ago. So laugh all you want. That's what bloke did in office. Never had an office job. Ended up working in an office. Bloke went, can't you send an email? I said, no, fucking teach me. Yeah. I couldn't walk once and I walk now, so obviously I can learn things. How fast, I don't know. But, yeah. So, yeah. What was I saying? I've lost my triangle. I've lost my wangle. So, yeah.
Not like you.
Technology. Computers, yeah, you'd teach them that about backdoors and how something phones are or something devices have a backdoor and it can be accessed and all these. You know what I mean? We're the same. That's why neuroscientists work in marketing. You know what I mean? That's why the neuroscientists behind all these fucking how to get people to go to far right.
Yeah, it's why they like to put sweets at the counter so the kids scream and the children, oh mum, I want these. You know, they attack us in subtle ways. Yes.
It's not that. It's just I've just thought about Britain First and that somewhere there'll be people laughing because somebody will have had a bet. Do you remember that? What is it now? There's a shitty Hollywood film I remember before I stopped watching TV.
Brewster's Millions.
No, one of them where they have. I think it might have been that one with Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean fella. And there's some loads of rich people. There's like Arabs and just rich businessmen and that, and they're just betting on weird things, just random things. You know, they'll chuck a quid on the floor and see if maid picks it up and that. Will she pick it up or not pick it up? And they bet about $1 trillion on it.
Is it a racing film? Is it something to do with races? Cannonball, Monte Carlo? I can't think.
It's something, and they have something. I think Whoopi Goldberg's in it as well. I'm not too sure. It's that one when he goes, the train, and he jumps. That bloke's got that thing.
He did
this film up too much now. So anyway, the principle is that there's loads of rich people betting on random things. So anyway, there's they will. I imagine somewhere there's been a bet made, and to see if they can get the descendants of the men that fought against Nazis and Germany, and that kind of ideology.
Oppression.
They've had a bet to see if they can turn Britain that way, turn Britain into Third Reich. You know what I mean? Because obviously America's already there with the Fourth Reich. You know what I mean? So if that's what they'll have done. So let's see if we can turn them. I hope it never happens. And I hope I get enough money to...
we have the power of manifestation. We've proven that these laws exist. I've been going through the 7 Hermetic principles and the power of attraction, the law of intent, vibration, resonant frequency, atoms, nothing actually being solid, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon. I've gone through quite a lot. The Rabo, the influence of, and the realm and reality in which we live in is what we make it. I've amassed 6,000 man in 40 months roughly between Facebook, YouTube channel, you know, and each man, each soul has its part to play. You know, our self-esteem is battered beyond belief. We have no drive, no incentive, no self-worth, no esteem anymore, no self, you know, get up and go, unless you're privileged enough to have, you know, been born into some kind of estate, manor, trust type setup, something luxurious, you know. And you know, I saw an advert the other day, absolutely ascot, you know, that's what they're showing now. Never mind made in Chelsea. Well, the only way is fucking Essex. We've got absolutely ascot now. It makes my itch. It really does, you know. And it's like, this is nothing to aspire to. This is no life to look up to. This is not, you know, wow.
This is
70
why
years
I'm
ago,
fully aware.
70 years ago, teenage boys were signing up to go to a war they shouldn't legally be in, you know,
I'm
and
fully
wow.
aware, me. I'm fully aware of me. What's coming, me. I know I'm under no mistake, me. I'm just trying to plan enough to get enough money, me. Because people are dumb. People are stupid. Like I say, when they shut your access off, yeah, because at the moment they give you access. You chase pennies and all that. When these economies go tits, then pennies are worth shit. You fight for everything. You know, people should be researching and looking at Venezuela, everything that's been happening, because it could be happening to you soon, and you all live
What?
in a
You mean we could be immigrants? We could then have to
yeah.
go to another
No,
land and
not
seek
immigrants,
asylum?
not
We could have
immigrants,
to go and
not
seek
immigrants.
asylum, perhaps.
English people fighting fellow English people for loaves of bread, for everything.
Not
You know what I
just
mean?
not just at football matches, then.
They will be eating each other. You know what I'm saying is, you know, I'll be sat here because I'm living on call anyway. Yeah, all I want to do is get enough money, me basically, to look after myself and look after look after myself and try and provide for everything I need to. But dogs, I'll be getting mobile mastiffs. So when shit goes down, people will come and try. I won't have anything to take, but I'll just say you can try and, you know, take whatever you want. I've got nothing, but these might have something to say about it.
We've got
They'll be.
laws, we've got processes, we've got things that we can use. We've got the environment, animals, everything. Yeah, but ultimately,
Laws, there won't be
the
any
future is
laws.
ours. You know, I'm not saying that everybody. You mightn't say that locking yourself away and getting animals and hoping for the best is the right idea, because
No, I'm saying I
ignorance
can
fuels.
see what's coming. If you know, if people's done the research, right, you can see what's coming. I can guarantee, right. I'll say it now. Then, right. I told people who I worked with. I worked with
Now then.
people, and I said to them, you know, I feel sorry for you because I know what's coming for your country. I know what the people that play games and play meddling and fucking create wars are going to do. And these are good people. They're my friends. You know, these are my friends. And I know what's going to happen to their country. Their family, they might be over here working, you know, and they were proper working men. And bear in mind, my mate used to work 6 months in Germany bricklaying, and then he used to come home 6 months and get pissed. Yeah. So anybody saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be over here working," blah blah blah, get folks, we do it. Why can't they? Yeah. So I know there's going to be instability. They're going to do to Syria what they've done. We're going to do to Turkey what they've done to Syria, because I know about the way the world works, and there's certain facts that people don't know. You see every day, but because I've worked with Turkish, I know what they know. You see, but as English, we're not told this. So I'll tell you, Turkey had an agreement. It had an agreement with the world, a contract with the world, not to touch its resources for 100 years. And that contract's up. So why do you think Turkey's been painted in a different picture now? Why do you think they're an attempted coup there? You know, it's all bullshit. And if they don't play ball, they'll get, yeah. Because that's why 100 years ago they took away Kurdistan, Britain, because they knew that the Kurds would be fighting to get the country back. They took the country away from the Kurds, and they knew that they'd fight for 100 years, and they knew in 100 years they could come back and destabilize that region by arming them people. But them people have took arms from the very people that took their country away. saying, here, we'll help you get your country back. You took it away from us.
Indeed, we did.
You get what I mean? So there's lots of complicated stuff. So I'm not when I say stuff, I'm analysing. I've got information in my head to base this. It's not just random stuff. You know what I mean? So I know that Turkey, the world wants the EU and that, because they've even, I mean, they'll be saying, we could come in EU. You know, that's what it's all about. That, you know, Turkey isn't going to renew that contract. Turkey is going to get rich, like it should do. That's what I mean. We would. If we've done a contract to sit on loads of oil and gold and tin and, you know, all this kind of stuff, then, and, you know what I mean, we'd be making money off it, and that's what they're doing, because they're building roads. And I watched another document. So that information first came from one of the guys I worked with in a lorry, you know, just having a drive conversation back from work, you know, as you do, travelling long miles. Yeah. Then I've watched a documentary about the Turkish government building roads into mountains, you know, into far out places that's not really reachable. And there's one bloke, Turkish bloke, great life. I wish, you know, oh my goodness, what a life. Basically, big mountain, you go up this path, and then he doesn't tell this bloke till the guy's getting in it, and there's a massive 600-foot drop and all. And it's this like little, like, you know, what did they call them, where you've got a rope and a little cage and, you know, and another rope, and it's like a cable car, that's the word, cable car. Anyway, guy gets in it, and he says something, and he goes, yeah, I made it myself, and bloke's like, what? Thinking, what? 600 foot? Oh, what do you mean you made it yourself? And then you go across it, and this guy lives in this hut, in this, like, you know, cabin, in this forest on this mountainside. It's just unbelievably beautiful, and eats fresh food and everything every day. And that guy was very clever, because he was another guy who was wise to bullshit. Because the guy says, oh, do you think it's, what do you think about it? Is it good that the Turkish government building roads, you know, so there's more access for tourism, yeah? Oh. And the guy just starts laughing, and he says, they're not building roads for tourism, they're building roads so they can get lorries here to take stuff out of the ground.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm not saying Turkey's perfect either, because their government will be utterly corrupt as shit. That Erdogan, you know what I mean? He, in my eyes, he's just like a George Bush. He's just like, take a George Bush, you know, he's got all his money in oil, so that's all he cares about. And all the central banks and all these people will be investing in these companies anyway. They're going to all oil, gold, oil, lithium, anywhere. Precious resources. It's not theirs.
My precious.
It's mine, it's yours, it's everybody's. Gold mines, oh my God, you know, these people, we buy gold. We buy our own stuff. Every day we buy our own stuff. Stuff that's, every day we buy our own stolen stuff. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's the world we live in.
Would it not be like going to the supermarket and buying your shopping, and then just before leaving the supermarket, having to pay to leave the car park?
No, it'd be like
you just paid once.
Going to the supermarket, buying all your shit, taking it home, putting it in your cupboards, go to sleep, and supermarket send some boys round. They go in your house while you're asleep, take all the shit out in your cupboards, and put it back on the shelves in the supermarket, and you have to go. And you think, and how you eat, you're lucky if you eat something.
Yes.
Everything that's sold to us and provided to us is ours and paid for by us, and it's our, the resources are ours. Most of it's paid for by us, and if it's resources that's taken from us, that's buying your stuff that's stolen from you. So, you know, we're a bit backwards as a people. That's what I say. I think it's funny. I just
unfretted mind, what is the bond that keeps God from giving up on us? We have a covenant with the Creator, I would argue, a covenant, something like that. He can't give up on us. We are
it's not about giving up. He gave us a choice.
Living, yeah. Let me just. I would say that he maybe he's split himself up, consciousness itself. I was on about some hermetic principles earlier about the universe being comparable to a mind, like all is mind. You know, matter, consciousness, mind over matter. I'm just saying it doesn't. It doesn't matter where it's from, and I'm talking about principles and things, existence, and where it is, and
that's what I'm saying.
If he splits himself up and he wants to experience itself through all and many, then he is I am, we are created in his image, and things like that is all I was going to say on there. It's where is God's contract with man? Well, we are him, we are his creation, he is us. Go on. What was you going to say?
Choice, that's it. There's no fucking helping that. You got choice, and you can either. That's why we choose to accept what we accept. That's why the world's why it is, because we're all choosing to accept it, and that's why it's a good thing. What Fresco put on that paradise or oblivion. You know what I mean? It is. It's paradise or oblivion. Choice is ours.
I'm reading through the comments here.
If it's a computer simulation, I'd say that it's a simulation, so you got to level up.
Jesus Jones has said, I'm just about to read out Jesus Jones' comments. This is just a massive video game. You didn't know. I was just about to read that out, and you're on about if
it is a simulation, then if it's a simulation and it's a video game, this is when the civilization ditches the money system and that controlling power and that freedom restricting, that's when we level up. When we unite and we just saw everybody, you do what you're doing, but the fundamental is this. You want a fundamentalist? This is the fundamentals. We all need food, water, it all needs to be distributed. We all need, you look at people saying, Muslims, I'm against Islam. Have you seen Dubai? Have you seen them? Muslims love shopping, just same as Christians and non-Christians, atheists, and, because we're all run by that God, that money system, that, that creates them in priests that are bankers and stuff like, it's, but yeah, it is, and it is just, if it is a game, that's what I say, if it is a game, or if it is or that, say what you want, but I can't prove any of them, but I know how we should be living, and I can know what technology is about, I know what factories do, I know how goods and services are produced, food's sent all over the world. What, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the hell? That's all you can say to that. So I know what's possible, and I'll never let anybody tell me what's not possible. So yeah, but then personally, I think we'd level up.
We've got loads of. I'm listening to you. You're right. I'm trying to go through the comments as well. We've got lots of.
Go on,
there are nine viewing. So hello to everybody. 9 that are still viewing at this 8 minutes to 2. Wow. Sunday morning now. Yeah. Sunday morning, yeah. And sorry, I haven't paid attention to the chat room. We do speak too much, but there's a lot here.
Please, dear, for listening to my words some days.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's some agreeing, not agreeing with money being evil and different mixed things on that. Jesus was probably an Indian. He was a meditator. There was a documentary about it possibly being a meditator. They've contaminated things, money. We must transmute it. Everything good in the world uses money to change the world. So, yeah, there are some mixed feelings. I'm not saying what's right and wrong. I'm just saying everybody has an opinion.
I'd like to have a debate with people about this kind of stuff, because I don't believe it does, because I'm 42 years old and the world seems the same, if not worse, than when I was a nipper. There's always been, I've always looked on TV and seen starving kids in Africa. Has that ever changed in 42 years? So has any of the money, you know what I mean? That's what I say. Money, yeah. What they're classing as doing good is like somebody raising some money and building a school in Africa, yeah, or a little medical thing. But whenever they're paying tax at the same time, and that government, what they're under, whether it be America or whatever, blah blah blah, yeah, is meddling in that country, affairs, yeah, and stuff can be like overrun. There can be warlords created, revolutions and stuff, and that school and that little medical gets flattened. It gets flattened. Them kids in there get killed. Do you know what I mean? And that money what was raised to build that. Do you know what I mean? Build it had a well there. Somebody ran a marathon and they built. You know, it's bullshit. Oh, it's a waste of. You're not solving any problems. You're not solving.
The illusion.
It's an illusion of. It's illusion of fixing something.
More magic. What's an illusion? It's a magician's trick again. More spell casting, magic. Oh, illusion, false reality.
I can't remember that definition, but it's a farce. It is. Look up the definition of a farce. It's a farce. The world is a farce.
No, we're a farce because we can't see or find a way, to remedy this. Well, we have found a way.
I see a way.
Knowing who you are, and there is proposals for it, but at present, bit like Christianity, great idea. When we're going to start doing it, as late great George Carlin said, it's
Jack Fresco. He says somebody said to him, What do you think of Christianity? He says it's a great idea when they're going to put it in action.
Maybe it was then. It's too early for me to argue.
Yeah. But, it was. It was. Yeah.
Somebody old and grey.
That's what he said. He said,
they're both dead now. R.I.P. to both of them. They are both now not with us.
Both great boys, and I'm a bit like it. You know what I mean? People said to Jack Fresco, "Do you think they'd ever that people will accept and go for Venus projects?" He said they might not do. We might all end up killing ourselves, but I'm not willing to accept that. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I stand now. And it's because people say, "Oh, nobody will ever go. We can't get rid of money." Say, "Well, tough shit. If you believe that, then you believe that." I don't believe
You're
that.
Part of the problem, maybe, but still.
I don't know. I don't believe that, and you're not going to persecute me for not believing what you believe. Get fucked. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a thinger. I believe in that. That's my religion. I believe that is possible. I can see what technology can do. Technology is already doing what it's doing, so you can't say it can't do it. You know what I mean? In China, you got robots making robots. Automating everything. They're automating everything because their population will be too old to work. They are automating everything. How the fuck they're going to do all that whilst having a money system at the same time, I don't know. You know what I mean? But they're on with it. They're doing that. So don't tell me that we can't get a machine to build stuff. Why are we still working? Why are we still living like this? Why are we at each other's throats over money?
Where's the hoverboard? What?
Over the risk of losing your job to a foreigner. Over the risk of this. Do you know what I mean? Fucking come on, people. Jesus Christ. Oh, Allah, Buddha be praised.
I said earlier that Hungary have had a financial manoeuvre played by their local, friend, prime minister, government and that. And what's happened as a result of international foreplay, commercial finance, and the average house had a mortgage of £80 equivalent sterling pounds transferred over from foreign to us. They don't have a central bank. They have a deal with Washington, FYI. So after this deal, the £80 mortgage has now gone from £80 a month to £380 a month, which is just about a 400% hike in the mortgages. So most of these families, 50 to 60, 70%, maybe 17 years, 12 in, whatever, into these mortgages. And now, as a direct result of international financial foreplay, sanctions, whatever, and having to deal with deficits and austerity, man's mortgages have gone up from £80 to 400. And the news flash is that for the fuckers in Hungary right now, they only get £400 a month income if they're lucky. So because of the way that the money and the interest and all this is, because it's no longer what is it, a European marketplace we'll invent where everything's fair and we'll trade and we'll have equality. And but yes, they didn't see the fucking the euro coming in, did they, the poor little fuckers? But anyway, these mortgages have gone up to £400 now from 80, and these bless them souls, brothers and sisters of our family out there, they have to now leave their homeland and work in another country that pays them a shitload more so they can keep up with the mortgages. So they're having to leave where they were born to get more money or drown in the economical sea of demons and death and repossession and foreclosure and becoming homeless and losing your children. And oh, wow, yeah, just from government games. Off you go.
Yeah, that's legal. That's all done legal. That's all done by the lovely legal system that everyone's banging and loving this legal system, and there's always laws and things. That's all done legally. That's fucking bullshit. That's a crime, that's a crime. And it's also what's commonly known as...
terrorists.
No, it's a land grab. It's a land grab, that's all it is. Loads of people won't be able to fucking pay their mortgages. They'll lose their houses. The banks will get the money, the land. It's a land grab. They're grabbing land that is not theirs. They're grabbing land. That's what I mean. Do you know? It's just everything that somebody talks to me about, any problem, you can attribute it to that directly back to the money system. Do you get what I mean? That wouldn't happen. Why is that? You know, you've been to Hungary the other week, didn't you? You went to Hungary the other week, didn't you?
The other month, yeah.
Other month, yeah. Right. So, you know, did you breathe any different when you were there?
It was cleaner, fresher air, yeah.
So, yeah, but it was air, oxygen, heated air, weren't it? Same. Was it grass on the floor?
There was a little bit, yeah.
And there was sky above you.
Yes, I was in the same realm, Matthew, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, do you get me? They have the same soil, the same earth, the same air, the same rain that falls on us. Do you know? But yet people in one country, you know what I mean, having to go to another country to get pennies just to pay that so they can live in their own country.
Poland are doing it. Poland have done the same. Most guys from Poland come here and they get, jobs and they get team... Wait, I haven't finished. And they get team leader jobs, and next thing they've got like a £2,000, 1,800, 1,600 quid a month coming in. They're in a house with four of them sharing. This isn't racial. This is, I know these guys, and they're drawing in like, between them £5,000, five large, a month in this, paying out the mortgage rent, whatever, sending the money home, honourably sending the money home back to the family to bank it and using this system for everything what it's got. And it's like, hang on, so they've all had to come out because they've worked out that their own country and their homeland has turned on them and issued legal things, sanctions and moves and manoeuvres and financial international foreplay again comes in, and it renders them having to come out and take racial abuse from a foreign nation just so they can get that dollar bills and send it home. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Let alone all the pallets worth of food that come across with foreign bloody, not that it's bad because it's foreign, but it's come across. It's clearly imported, and yet you have these European shops selling like big brand names cheaper than what other shops do. But yeah, it's come on a lorry from foreign waters and had all that shipping and export tax and stuff applied to it, and it's over here cheaper than what it is in the shop round the corner. And it's like none of this makes any sense. It's run by madmen, all of it, by crazy madmen. Forget us moving like that. Like you say, food passes man who needs food to come to us who don't need it. So man will starve and have his country pillaged to provide for others, but they can't have any food because, they're not really worthy. They're like worse than a second-class citizen. They are expendable, to be fair. And the world watches by whilst we buy the clothes from Primark and expend their leisure, their time and thingy at our leisure, so we can have cheaper clothes that they can wear at school and this, that, the other, and we go, oh yeah, it's very horrible, slavery is terrible, but I'm still using the outlets of which slaves produce Going to jump out the window from a I'll be careful here for full public liability, but going to jump out of a window because you've had enough of manufacturing small media handset devices and you're employed in a contract of which your employer has locked all of the doors and everything, so nobody can escape until they say it's time to go home. So mans are trying to jump out the window, and it's like, hang on a minute, and we put up with this. There is a God watching this, I do hope, for everyone. There is a judgment day coming, I do believe. It's still the same rules still apply, do they not, Matt?
It could be a judgment day. I don't think so. I think there's rules, and I think there's let's describe it as a computer simulation. I think there's rules and algorithms, and it's you see constantly being judged. You constantly, it might, I don't know, it might give you a chance if you're not doing shit too badly. It might just like send you a bit of shit to try and warn you. But if you start pissing about, you get it. Sooner or later, you get it. Whether you're a nation, an individual, an empire, sooner or later, you get it. Look at history.
They all die. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where are the fucking pharaohs? Where are those that built those pyramids?
Great civilizations have passed. Yeah, something's happened to them. They all kill themselves, basically. It seems.
Either kill themselves, be wiped out by something else. But generally, it's probably kill themselves, or they might be. Like I say, if there's a God, like we don't level up, we just go fucking hell. And he's going to do it again. But it could be a God that's created a computer system, a simulation. You don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know if it's just a superior being. For all them people with the aliens, it could have created them as well. So I like to go deep. I believe that sometimes, I don't know, I've looked at not too much technology, I think, and I've seen that what's capable, and it's like, well, all stuff that in Bibles and stuff, that God's powers, we can seem to replicate to fool people if we needed to. So if there were an advanced civilization bit back, came here and seeded us, and, they could pissed about with us and got us to believe they're gods, but they're not really gods. You know what I mean?
The ant-headed people, the cave paintings and the traceability to the different realms of the Dogon tribe.
Because something could have created them, you know what I mean?
The Dogon tribe,
they could be still within the simulation, you see. They could still be within the simulation. They could be part of the simulation.
Yeah, Inception, kind of like Inception-based than reality.
That's right. I accept that I know nothing. It's the simplest way to go. I don't know. Can't verify. Can't hang out the resources to. You know what I mean?
I know. I think. Therefore,
I know stuff like when you're drilling through metal up a ladder, and you've got your arms outstretched above you, and you're trying to balance yourself, and a piece of hot metal shaving falls in your eye, it stings and burns. That shit I know. You know what I mean? For a fact.
That's why we have safety goggles in the HSE employer guidebook.
Yeah, I wear glasses. It still happens. I'll bang my finger with a hammer. That hurts also.
That's where the public statutory regulations for your person and employer come in handy, and are there to safeguard. They don't cost you anything. They don't cost me anything. They're there. They're in place. I'm not saying I agree, because we should have codes and principles and ethics and, responsibilities. We live in a world where responsibility is no longer classed as standard. It's like, it's just insane.
It's that you need health and safety when you live in a world of dumbed down people that aren't educated enough themselves to preserve their own fucking life. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. You simmer it down, and what you left at the bottom is that. You know what I mean? When you fucking dump people down and you thingy, you've got to do that, because you make them that thick they can't even think for themselves. They can't govern themselves. They can't think for themselves. You know what I mean? Man's in 19 fucking thingy in America. They were just twatting about on girders, fucking 1,100 foot in air, having a sandwich. cup of tea. You know what I mean? Yeah, there probably were a lot of that died, but you know what I mean? They might have been pissed, I don't know, but, you know, again, uneducated. I've never fell off a cliff.
I have. I actually have, Devon.
But I know people do when they're pissed.
No, I did it as a child.
I've seen a few people have accidents pissed. I'm glad I've never been a heavy drinker, but you know, I think I saw enough at an early age to say, you have no control over yourself whatsoever. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, it's a bad social drug, to be fair. To introduce a drug into a social environment of highly stressed, lacking of sleep, undernutritioned, you know, that's a real bad mix, that is, because already you just...
People need to escape. If people didn't have the stresses of life, what they've got, they wouldn't need to drink like they drink.
Yeah, I know, it's a real bad... Yeah, I was part of it. I used to do it. I was a DJ. I had Racky.
Yeah, I've grown up. I'm no saint.
I'm not saying I'm a saint, but now it's like, wow, yeah. At Christmas, you just see how much revenue is generated from the sake of having to go out and, you know, wow, it's just incredible. I've been there again and done it, but
people wouldn't. Yeah, if it's like when we
standing in the queue to give someone business. Sorry to talk over you there. Standing in the queue for hours. I'm not going to stand in the queue to spend my money and give you business, or have to wait an hour to get a drink every time and get it spilled and all the shit you go through. It's like, that's just insulting. I want to be standing there for 2 minutes maximum.
When we were younger, we used to go in the park and just get out booze and get pissed and that. And it's the only reason we went in park and got pissed is because, one, we'd seen adults do it, so monkey see, monkey do, and two, escapism, and there were nothing else to do. If there were free rock climbing, if there were a skate park, you know what I mean? If there were fucking shit provided for us, we guarantee we wouldn't be getting drunk.
No, of course not.
About it, we wouldn't getting drunk, but you don't. You see, everything promotes that kind of stuff, so that's what you get: garbage in, garbage out.
There's no investment in society. Our monies and our taxes and that, where they say they're putting them, don't go to where we need them. They tell us where they go in. They don't put them where they say they go in, and it continues on and on and on. The deficits grow bigger and bigger. And we grow more disembodied and fucking disenfranchised from our true selves, nature, and any kind of governance, you know, we think we have. We haven't. It's just truly incredible. Incredible.
That's when you get people just, you know, you get people popping up left, right, and centre. Follow me. You know, that's why. What is it? If you don't stand for O, you'll fall for anything. And that's why I made a choice. I'm not joining none of these religions. They're all corrupted. Yeah. And I'm taking my chances with Venus Project, a resource-based economy. I like what that guy said. You know, if people try and corrupt it, I don't know. I haven't seen hope being put out for a while, but, you know, I presume Roxanne Meadows had a lot on her plate, but that's why it's not on. It's not just for her. That concept needs to be taken. His idea needs to be not taken and stolen. I mean, you know, it needs to be spread
developed.
Around. That needs to be spread, because that's the only thing that I've seen. And the very fact that Alex Jones, all you Russell Brands, all these people that are claiming to be truth and claiming to be thinking, but really they're Zionists. And all these people that want to end the world because they believe in a biblical or a Quranic or a, you know what I mean, some kind of prophecy that says, oh, well, it's going to happen, so we better make it happen. No! Why not impress God and say, look, we were that, you know what I mean? We saw what you'd shown, that how we were going and what was going to happen. And look, we've tried to just put everything aside, and with all these, you know, the wonderful wisdom that you've given us to build this, to come up with these ideas and this technology and stuff. Look how we're using it. We've cast this aside. You know, these kind of people are now gone. They're a thing of the past. Nobody on this planet has got an empty stomach. Everybody's mind is full, and the stomachs are full, and the minds are full with what they want. You know what I mean? Look how we're living. The animals, we're looking after animals. Everything's returned back to nature outside the cities. Do you know what I mean? There's no more zoos. You want to see nature? It's out there. You know,
religion as such. I did go to Buddhist after being like a
This is my
Christian.
religion.
So what I would say is now that I have faith more than anything, and
Like all
I use
religions.
the numbers, the synchronicities, the three ones and three. I've now found out using gematria was pointing me towards the word man for some reason. I'm still equally as confused as to what that relevance might be, but I have weird, as you know me, Matt. I have weird little fucking things, and the synchronicities sometimes quite relevant pop in, and I don't understand messages and stuff that come through, but I have no longer a name for the creator or whatever is above, or the infrastructure and stuff. I just believe that there is something, there is the governance there. I've seen that, I've interacted with it, I've played with it, you've seen it, we know it's there. The belief, I don't know, it's each to their own, but
Oh no, there's a creator. There's a creator. 100% information science. I said this to someone the other day, and they said, "No, Big Bang. Big Bang isn't a creator. You know what I mean? You can't trace." I said about information science. If you trace information back, it always has a source. We're made up of DNA, which is full of information. It's a code. It's a DNA code. It's information that's been put there. You know what I mean?
Articulated.
So that didn't come from slime and shit, and you know what I mean. That's you trace that back. There's a source that created it. So all information has a source that created it. You see, so. This is where you get into realms of infinite possibility and blah blah blah. But yeah, this kid said, a Big Bang. Big Bang, an explosion doesn't create information like that. Technical, do you know what I mean? That doesn't happen. You see. So, and Big Bang's based on faith as well. Incidentally, it's not based on science. It's based on a big leap of faith. Then science.
God, and there's no God. There's no repercussions. There's no hell. There's no heaven. I'm just loving it. Let's just do it. There's no. We're in a realm that's just random, and things just happen. They just happen, and there's no answer to anybody.
So why is it the same algorithms and the same mathematics are found in universe and stars and whatnot, and what makes everything up as in what's in
the internet,
Google algorithms and computers, and that's why I say I like to, I don't know, keep this open for simulation theory. Makes sense. But so do a lot of religions. A lot of religions, but that overlaps as well. It does overlap. But whatever it is, there's certain laws, and that's what I said. That's just, again, it's distraction. Once you find out this, you know what I mean. That's why it says
the sum of one could
do unto others as you want done to yourself. You know what I mean. Everything you do to and for another, you do to and for yourself.
And for God, by serving man, you serve God. If you
some people believe. This is why when you look at them all, you get a bit freaked out if you look at them all. So people who just don't one denomination or one religion or one book, you need to look at everything else, simulation theory, or others. Keep practicing what you're practicing, but just have a look and look for them similarities what's in your book with that. Because like you just said then, what did you say then? About, your God. Yeah, so that overlaps with your Hindu. Because he split himself up, and that's why Hindus laugh at people who are stressed and stuff, because they just go, that's like fucking, that's right good, that's impressive, that's very impressive. There's nothing more impressive than God acting like he doesn't know he is God. It's like, he split himself up into everybody to experience everything and gave him some amnesia, and that's why people who have spiritual awakenings in that culture, they can be attributed to, God waking up. You're waking up to the very fact that you are part of God. You're God. Everybody else is God. Everything's God. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot to take. You know what I mean? But then there's other people say, no, God is God, and we are the creation. He's the creator. And then I said to them, well, if we're not creators as well, look at all the shit around. Put your iPhone down, because that's a creation.
Yep, I know.
He created that. You know what I mean? God gave us the ability to do that. So, in us being the creation, we are also, And then you go back to your shit and the aliens, and then it all goes back round.
Holographic universe, the sum of one
then you just get lost in
parts of many.
And then before you know it, you're not talking about what you should be talking about, and that's how to tell people how to get people out of this slavery work.
How to get man. Yeah.
We aren't thinking, oh, but who's going to pay for this? You know what I mean?
No, we can put that in place. We can get that common unity and put the infrastructure in place. We'll get a database together of who does what in what local area, what geographical landmass houses what skilled.
No, all the it's already in place.
Find a sovereign.com. You know, so whatever it needs to take, we'll do it. It's not a problem.
No, it's already in place. The systems
Listen, let me finish now. It's my turn. We can make a website for anything. It takes G-Star 3 hours to clone and build a website. I'm not saying he copies stuff, but he's got the know-how and technology, and so have others around the, you know, not just him, that develop and build networks and sites and things. And we could quickly, within 48 hours, 2 days, we could establish the massive, strong, national digital network of interactive everything we could need, where everybody was in contact, emails, numbers. And we could facilitate it a lot differently. Yes.
I ain't got time. I'm talking about the people that are already running things should be running things properly. So you go to them. There's already systems and infrastructures there. There's already .org, all these government things there. They're just being used wrong. So obviously, if people went and talked about stuff and all these big conversations, and they went to these politicians, these liberals, these Labour, these Conservatives, these UKIPs, these EDLs, and they said, "Now then, I'm going to put you on the spot because I think you're all chatting bollocks. This is the real problem. How are you going to tackle it? Give me an honest answer and don't give me no bullshit, because this is how it's going to be. We're going to work out. There's all these people unemployed in job centre. All these people unemployed in job centre, yeah? But yeah, there's people working too many hours. So realistically, you could get a truck driver that's driving 5 days a week to drive 1 day a week and put 4 more truck drivers from job centre in that lorry, driving the next day and the next day. Do you know what I mean? But the only problem is, and it's the money system that stops this, that puts some spanner in works here. So you've got to work out all richest people in England, how much they get paid, what they get access to. These are conversations that people need to have. So then they've got to be approached, and they've got to say, right, what would you have? Because in an economic system, it needs to be spelt out to them that, you know, when economies go tits up, it doesn't matter if you've got a nice house, fucking out in sticks or whatever. Do you know, there's a lot of people on estates and stuff like, you know what I mean? They will come and rob you. They're just going to come and take all your shit. And that's why that billionaire bloke earlier, you know what I mean, who we were talking about, says stuff like that. I've got a 50 cal, and he's just as stupid as the people that are going to, you know what I mean, try and rob him because he thinks he's got enough bullets. How many people is he in America? Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a billionaire. I hope he bought 1 billion bullets because, you know what I mean, there's loads of people in America. You know what I mean? So,
shows you the lack of compassion, the lack of consideration, how man is so adversarial.
So people need to, people need to be taught about what they really want. What do you want? You want access to a gym? What do you know what I mean? People need to be talked and asked. These are questionnaires. You know, you get shitty questionnaires all the time. This is what needs designing, a questionnaire of this calibre. But I'm not clever enough to do it, and I openly admit it. But there are people out there that are, and they need to be asked. Rich people, poor people. Do you know what I mean? What do you want access to? What do you want from? You know what I mean? And most of them will say, "I want to learn stuff. I want to, you know what I mean? I want access to this. I want to be able to go rock climbing, and I want access to food, healthy food." So that's what people want.
I want an allotment. I'd like an allotment, please. Yeah.
So then we use the voting practice that's already in to vote. Whichever fucker says, "Yeah, man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a politician that wants to end all politicians." So if you vote for me, you'll end all politicians. A vote for me ends this shit and this rigmarole, you know what I mean? And they go into power and they start talking to these corporations and they say, "Look, this shit's ending. You know, it's ending."
If a man could do that as well without
You
having to
know, money's ending, and we're getting rid of this. So all your access centres are going to be thinking your distributions, and that's what I said. This is what needs to be talked about, because it needs to be done without bloodshed and just common sense. Because it is just common sense. It's a simple thing to do for people to talk about. It's not a taboo. It's not. You know what I mean? I don't know why people don't want to talk about it.
We are the peacemakers and they are the peacekeepers. Yes, this is what we are.
Russell Brand won't talk about it. Alex Jones won't talk about it. You know, none of them will talk about it. Churches won't talk about it. Mosques won't talk about it. Do you get what's happening? What is happening? Why don't people talk about that? They talk about everything else, but they don't talk about how they could implement something that'd be beneficial to their lives, everybody's lives, end wars, end starving, and end scarcity.
Car crashes, PCMs,
and I'm
networks of travel, reliable. Get rid of the city trains that just make profit from you, don't get you to work, make you late.
No, we don't need cars. People will say, "Oh, I want to drive." Well, I want to drive a car. What about if I want to? Oh, we'll leave up racetracks. We'll have racetracks. We'll have purpose-built racetracks. We'll have the best racetracks in the world. If you want to drive, everybody will get to drive a Bugatti Veyron. You won't all have a Bugatti Veyron, but you'll go to your local track and fucking drive one if you really want to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But we're not having, well, fucking about in Bugatti Veyrons. You go there, you book your sin in. You know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Okay, it's 2:30. It's time to say goodbye.
Why?
I'm feeling tired.
Got stuff to do, yeah, you're right, actually. Sleep is needed.
It's 2:30 by the big group.
Yeah, we got carried away.
That's all right. Knowing you, it was all of us, both of us.
I get carried away. But yeah, so I won't accept this world, and I don't have to. I won't be forced to accept.
Thank you to Alpha, Jerry at Alpha, Jerry Alpha Radio. Yeah, we've got a few viewers. It says there's 10 viewing still, Matt. So we've done well there, brother.
On a legal standpoint, everything I said and everything the Venus Project stands for, advocates, is a legal standpoint. It's a legal argument. It can't be disproven. The people of the world declared all the world's resources common heritage and implemented that, and people work towards that. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what we are doing by reclaiming as the settlors, creditor, beneficiary, you know, and recorrecting statuses, finding out who we are, the truth about money, the IOUs, the gold, the fractal, the slavery, you know, identity, history. What did somebody say? We've done a lot of work, to be fair. We've uncovered and done a lot of fucking, you know, it's been, wow, yeah. It's saddening journey. It's actually broken many a man has been broken and lost battles and, you know, everything to some extent, and lost ID, sanity, mind, life, possessions, many attributes, you know, physical, tangible, none. And it's just yeah, we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere for definite, but we haven't the 99% don't seem to have got these guys are organised. They're organised like you can see, but we're not, and that's where we fall down: the communication and the organisation.
Oh, they just suppressed that conversation. The one conversation that people should talk about all over the world. You know, all politicians should be talking. That should be their main fucking aim. That should be their main aim. That's what they should be talking to us about. We shouldn't have to go to them with this. You know what I mean? That the very fact that we will have to go to them with this, the very fact that people, you know what I mean? The governments aren't talking about this as an end goal. They're all talking about wars. They're all talking about wars that your kids are going to have to go and die in. That's what they're talking about. They're not talking about how your kids are going to go and be able to live in another country and study in other places and, you know, freely roam the without worry about any retribution for something that nation's done. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Get chatting, people. That's all I say. Get chatting about rate stuff. About rate stuff. And I'll tell you something. You know the true meaning of righteous?
Yes, go on.
It means right-minded. Right-mindedness. So therefore,
Righteous.
the Venus Project is the only righteous thing I've seen on this planet. And it's a righteous thing. It's right thinking.
Love. I've seen love. Love is righteous. Care, love, consideration, compassion.
Yeah, but love's just words. Love's just words until, do you know what I mean? You do something.
It's a deed. Love is a deed. It's an intent.
No, people say they love all the time. People say they love people and they donate money and they think they've solved the problem and stuff. So, but that.
No. That's distracted from love. Donating money is not love. That's donating money. You know.
No, I'm talking about when the world implements. You know, basically, people can talk about love all they want, but there ain't no loving world because love don't feed hungry kids in Africa. Distribution of food feeds hungry kids in Africa. People making a choice to unite and declare the world's resources common heritage. That's love.
Yeah, I've said that. I've said those very words many a time. It's just love. Well, the point is that if whites hate and blacks hate browns and browns hate, and it goes on like this, and we're fearful of each other, and we don't have the love concept, and nobody says I love you, or feels that emotion or says it or gives it, then we can't really get anywhere because it starts from within. Most of us are without, and because we are without, we need to look within to see what we are containing, missing, and put that in, and then we can move forward. So you need to love yourselves, and there's lots of us that don't love ourselves, that are in hard times, that are in binds, and testosterone fueled men that can't speak and stuff and hold stuff in and explode, and, like you said, go out drinking too much and snorting cocaine and just whatever gets on going on. Life is just immeasurably crazy at the minute. So it does start with love, in my eyes, with oneself, within, and then for others, and then moving on to the environment, the world, and everything else. But we have to, I don't know, focus on the bit from within and look and find oneself, know oneself, and that again, not just to quote Brother Santos, but just because you do need to. Others have said that, and love is power. It's a powerful thing, mate. You know what I mean? It's very powerful.
I know that. I'm not doubting that, but to look within and all that takes time. And in a monetary system, when people who are poor and people who are uneducated and they're just chasing pennies 24/7, and they ain't got time to sit down and meditate. They ain't got time to even educate. They ain't even got time to draw out within, let alone look within. You know what I mean? You haven't even got time
on a grand scale, not the starving Africans right now. That's probably
I'm on about people on the council estates and such things in England. A lot of people working many jobs. Different hours and long hours, and then you just and then that's what I say. It's just there's a lot stacked against us. You've got to take that what's stacked against you away.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect, you push and you start, but you don't see necessarily the results straight away, but a bit later you see that all the dominoes have fallen down. But initially it starts with that one push, and you have to wait for chain reactions to happen, and later down the line you'll see the result of these cause and effects, I suppose, or lack of cause and effects equally will also set domino chains in effect. So you either create your own set of chains and things, or you wait and get them given to you, and you aren't the master of them. You are the pawn of them, and it gets out of control quickly, very confusingly for some as well.
It's just time people realised. Realised the illusions. Money's illusion, the restricting thing. People said, no, we should have a credit system, a point system, a point system. No, we have this system. If you're hungry, you get food.
Well, it's been fun, brother. I love you. Thank you very much for coming on, everybody in the show, chat, feed, room, cast, world, Rame,
Brian, Kevin.
Keith, Terry, all of the angels, light workers, ADHDs, dyslexics, indigos, non-normals. We love you.
To all. It's easier to say to all, man.
To the collectors of things that shouldn't be collected, we love you especially. We are you. Ooh, shiny thing. I'll collect it. It'll come in useful one day. Shh.
Even you bad ones, remember you've got a choice. You're only choosing to be bad, not choosing to be bad.
Yeah, that's it.
They've got a choice too. We've got a choice. They've got a choice. You want to act benevolent, be benevolent. Put forward your factories. Put forward your automated factories. Put them forward.
Oh, it's a bit chilly. You can tell where Jack Frost is coming. Oh, dear. Yeah, it's been fun. It's time for bed. We've got stuff to do. To sleep. Nice one. Thank you. Much love, brother.
Well, took my mind off worries of my realities of stress and worries. What's causing me stress and worries at the moment.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Matt, stay on the line, and I'll just shut down the cast now. Good night. God bless. Cheerio. You can stay there, Matt, and I'll just stop the. Yeah, go on.
We don't need money. We need automation. I think that's the channel. I tried to search it myself and I couldn't find it. Everything else comes up. But you find it by my some playlist that I've created. You might see some playlist and it'll say, we don't need money, we need automation. Click on that and then you'll go to my thingy. I don't know, it might be what I'm saying. They might not like it. It might be censored from back. Oof, that'd be funny.
Good night. God bless. Thank you very much, brother. I'm sure we'll find it. I'll link it up and sort it out.